One time, travel sitting dejectedly on the side of the road, Lin Tianyao really couldn't figure out why he had traveled through time. Not struck by lightning, not fallen into the sewer, not jumped off a building. Just simply slept for a while, and then woke up in this strange world. This is a world parallel to the previous Earth. The China here is called Huaxia, and it is one of the most powerful countries in the world. The guy possessed by Lin Tianyao has the same name as him. He is 16 years old and is still in high school. His parents died when he was very young, leaving behind a duplex apartment and a modest amount of savings, and he lived a fairly comfortable life. It's just that this guy's submissive character is a bit unacceptable to Lin Tianyao. Through the memory of this body, I learned that this guy was blocked by a few losers in the school on his way home from school. Not only did he have hundreds of dollars stolen from him, but he was also beaten violently. After fainting, Lin Tianyao's soul had the opportunity to take over this body. It really makes people speechless. The old saying goes, good people get bullied. If it were me, I would fight back even if I risked my life. I think that in my previous life, I was a majestic tiger from the University of Engineering. I always bullied others. How could anyone dare to bully me? Forget it. Since God let me come to this world, then I will be reborn as a brand new Lin Tianyao. I don't know how my father and mother were in the previous life. They should be very sad when they learned the news of his disappearance. Fortunately, there is a younger brother at home to help. Father and mother, if the child is unfilial, he may not be able to repay his elders for their kindness in raising him. Whispering in a low voice, Lin Tianyao raised his head and stared at the dim street lamp, 2 lines of tears welling up in his eyes. A man sheds tears not lightly, only because he has not yet reached the point of heartbreak. Time travel. Almost everyone is thinking about time travel these days, but having said that, how many people can endure the pain of being a stranger in a foreign land when it comes to actually traveling through time? Withdrawing his emotion, Lin Tianyao wiped off the shoe prints on his body, picked up his school bag, and walked towards the apartment. Opening the door, this is an ordinary 2-bedroom and 1 living room. There are no gorgeous furnishings, but all the furniture is available. Lin Tianyao just glanced casually, took off his dirty clothes, put them in the washing machine, and then walked straight to the bathroom. He stared blankly at the young, almost immature face in the mirror in front of him. His face was a little thin, with thin lips and slender eyebrows that flew into the temples, making his eyes look slender and sharp. Lin Tianyao gave a bitter smile and murmured, I have to say, this skin is pretty good and pretty, but the body is too weak and a bit effeminate. No wonder he is always abused. Although he looked a bit more popular in his previous life, he was still a muscular man with an incredible figure, unlike this thin and weak pretty boy who had nothing but a face. While shaking his head and sighing, Lin Tianyao turned on the water heater. With the sound of water flowing, thick mist rose in the entire bathroom. After taking a bath, Lin Tianyao put on his pajamas and lay on the bed, thinking about his future plans. During the 3 years of college in my previous life, apart from playing games and watching movies, novels, and anime, I really didn't learn anything. Do you want to make a living in this world by making movies, drawing comics, and writing novels? Nonsense, not to mention that I have forgotten all the plots I have watched. The key is whether I am the material. After thinking about it, Lin Tianyao felt a little headache. Forget it. Take it one step at a time and finish high school first. Having made plans for the time being, Lin Tianyao closed his eyes and slowly fell asleep. Master, master. In a daze, Lin Tianyao seemed to hear someone calling. Slowly opening his eyes, he saw a world of white. There is no blue sky, no green grass, everything is white. In the center of this snow-white space, a girl about 16 or 17 years old was looking at Lin Tianyao with a smile on her face, walking step by step. Seeing that pretty face getting closer and closer, even Lin Tianyao, who had good concentration, was extremely shocked. She has long hair like ink, curved eyebrows, smart eyes, straight nose, thin lips, such a beautiful face, as if she is from heaven, masterpiece. With the bright light of the autumn moon and her graceful and graceful temperament, she is like Chang in the cold palace of the sky and moon, making people dare not offend her. Her white teeth and cherry lips, her shoulders as if they were shaved off, her waist as if it were plain, and her snow-white dress seemed to blend in with the world. Lin Tianyao felt that even all the words of praise such as love the country and the city could not always describe the girl's beauty. This fairy. You, who are you? When he said these words, Lin Tianyao felt that his breath was trembling. Giggle. Looking at Lin Tianyao's unbearable expression, the long-haired girl covered her mouth and smiled sweetly, her watery eyes curved into a crescent shape, which made her even more cute. I am your system, master. After laughing, the girl explained softly. The sound is like an oriole coming out of the valley, which is refreshing and refreshing. But Lin Tianyao was stunned at this moment, not for anything else but for that title. You, what did you call me? Master? Yes, Lord, man. The girl deliberately lengthened her voice. She seemed to be very satisfied with Lin Tianyao's reaction. Hearing the fairy girl's affirmation, Lin Tianyao felt as if he had been hit by a huge pie, and every cell in his body cheered. Although it's just a dream, it's worth it to have such a fairy sister to call you master. That's right, this guy has been a little bitch in his 2 lives. How could he bear this kind of stimulation? Although he can be considered a handsome boy in this life, his introverted and cowardly character is destined to be unlovable. Hearing that the other party said that he was dreaming, the fairy girl immediately quit. Her crescent eyebrows furrowed, her nose snorted slightly, but her voice sounded like a dream. It's not a dream, master. I really exist. Seeing that the fairy sister seemed angry, Lin Tianyao seemed to realize that all this was really not a dream. So that means my own golden finger is turned on? Thinking of this, Lin Tianyao suppressed his inner excitement and asked in a trembling voice, that. Fairy sister, what is the system you just talked about? It combines the animations, movies, novels, and other fantasies created by humans in your previous life, and combines it with the super game system generated by the upgrade games you play. The fairy girl explained patiently. Wait a minute, how do you know I've played upgrade games? Lin Tianyao asked in shock. Could it be that this fairy girl has known him for a long time? Giggle. When you were playing games, I was watching from the side. The fairy girl showed an incomprehensible smile. Nanny? Lin Tianyao said that he and his friends were shocked. Were you next to me at that time? Who are you? Are you Wang Meng? Hey, Wang Meng, why did you become a system? Do your parents know? The Wang Meng Lin Tianyao mentioned here was a fat man who shared the same dormitory with him. Go, I'm not that fat bastard. The fairy girl wrinkled her nose and said angrily, You even know Wang Erpang's nickname. Who are you? Lin Tianyao frowned. He smelled a conspiracy. Seeing his expression, the fairy girl sighed and asked softly, Do you still remember the bead you bought at the antique market for 500 yuan last month? What? Are you that bead? Lin Tianyao was surprised. At that time, he just bought the bead because he liked it. Unexpectedly, it was really a treasure. There is a fairy living inside the bead. Could it not be a treasure? But when Lin Tianyao thought about it, something was wrong. Since that bead was the fairy girl in front of him, that meant, Did you bring me to this world? Well, I was thinking of merging into your body, but I accidentally used too much force and created a space crack. At this point, the fairy girl lowered her head guiltily, not daring to look at the other person's expression. Hearing this, Lin Tianyao gritted his teeth, tried hard to suppress his anger, and asked coldly, Can I still go back? No, there are no spatial coordinates. Fuck. Finally, Lin Tianyao couldn't bear it any longer, cursed angrily, stepped in front of the fairy girl, stared at her, and raised his fist. However, seeing the pitiful appearance of the other party, he finally couldn't do it, put his head in his hands, and squatted on the ground slumped. Can't go back, can't go back. The vast, white, unknown space. The fairy sister looked at her owner's painful appearance, feeling very uncomfortable in her heart. She didn't know why she felt like this. Logically speaking, she should be just an intelligence without emotions, but she possesses human emotions. Lord, man, please don't be sad. It's my fault. Although Lin Tianyao did not respond, his mood at the moment was gradually calming down. There is no way back. What else can he do? What's the use of anger or sadness? It is better to live well, live better than anyone else, and not let anyone ride on your head. After thinking about this, Lin Tianyao stood up slowly, stared at the beautiful face in front of him, and asked seriously, You will help me, right? The fairy girl was startled when she heard this, and then she seemed to put down her worries, and smiled politely, like a lily in the valley, blooming shyly with an indescribable tenderness and charm. Of course, my master, even if it means destroying this world with you. Well, destroying the world is too exaggerated. I just want to live well. Lin Tianyao was speechless by the fairy girl's answer. He was not a big devil when it came to destroying the world. It may be that the other party's appearance is easy to make people like, or the other party's attitude makes Lin Tianyao very satisfied. Anyway, at this time, he realized that he was not so repulsive to the fairy girl in front of him. Okay, my master, now let me introduce the functions of this system. Well, you say? For now, the two most important functions of this system are redemption and lottery. Fairy girl said softly. Hearing this, Lin Tianyao looked like it was true and nodded. Asa semi-otaku, who has been immersed in online literature for many years. He knows very well that this is the basic function of the system's golden finger. So I need to complete the tasks assigned by the system in order to earn the points required for redemption and lucky draw, right? Yes, the master seems to understand. Nonsense. Novels of this genre were all bad in the previous life, okay? They are bad. Lin Tianyao curled his lips. The fairy girl felt annoyed after hearing this, rolled her pretty eyes, and said unhappily, "Then since the master doesn't like it, I'll cancel these two functions." "Hey, don't worry, I was wrong." Lin Tianyao quickly apologized. Although he was disgusted by it, it is really useful. The fairy girl wrinkled her nose and snorted, and then said, as the master just said, these two functions need to complete the tasks issued by the system and obtain function points before they can be redeemed. But completing tasks can not only obtain function points, but also attribute points. Attribute points? Not bad. The fairy girl nodded and said, the system digitizes human potential and divides it into 4 attributes: strength, flexibility, physique, and intelligence. After completing the tasks issued by the system, you can obtain corresponding attribute points to strengthen yourself. Let me go. Who made you so awesome? Lin Tianyao asked in amazement. To be honest, Lin Tianyao is really curious about who can create such a system. In his opinion, it is impossible for humans to possess such technology. I don't know. The fairy girl frowned. I thought about it for a long time, and then I choked out these 4 words. Well, I don't even have a name. The moment you bought me for 500 yuan, master, I woke up to consciousness. Can you please stop mentioning the 500 yuan, making me look like a human trafficker? Lin Tianyao twitched the corner of his mouth helplessly. Okay, I won't say anything anymore. The fairy girl nodded obediently. Well, since you don't have a name, I'll give you one. Lin Xiaoxian, what do you think? Lin Tianyao thought for a while and said, Xiao Xian. Lin Xiaoxian. It sounds pretty good. Thank you, master, for the name. The fairy girl murmured to herself for a while. Her eyes lit up. She showed a bright smile and thanked Lin Tianyao. As long as you like it. Seeing the other party's charming smile, Lin Tianyao also had a smile on his lips. So beautiful. Really so beautiful. No wonder those ancients tried their best to make Bo Beauty smile. After feeling secretly proud for a while, Lin Tianyao suddenly thought of a question. By the way, Xiaoxian, since I am the master of this system, can I skip the task and directly obtain attribute points and function points? No, master. Not to mention that there is nothing for nothing in this world. Even if Xiaoxian wants to help you like this, it can't be done. The system seems to be banned, just like a certain program in the computer. If you don't complete the task, the attribute points and function points will not be distributed to you. The fairy girl, Lin Xiaoxian, shook her head. I know. Lin Tianyao seemed to have known the answer for a long time and did not show any disappointment. As Xiaoxian said, there is nothing in this world that comes without hard work. One more thing, master. You must remember, the fairy is the system, but the system is not the fairy. The fairy will help you, favor you, and answer all your confusions, but the system will not, you must remember. Lin Xiaoxian said cautiously. Yeah. Lin Tianyao nodded. He understood what Xiaoxian meant. Although Xiaoxian is the intelligence of the system and her heart is towards herself, she cannot influence the system's decision. Then, does the master have anything else to ask? Seeing that Lin Tianyao understood what he meant, Xiaoxian seemed to be very happy. I want to know what you can get in the lottery, and what can you exchange for? Anything you can imagine. Whether it's any skills, techniques, equipment, or even bloodlines in movies, animations, or games. That's it. Then I should have free function points, or attribute points, or something like that now. Yes, the system will give you 100 function points, 5 attribute points, and a lottery opportunity for free. Does the master want to receive it now? Xiaoxian smiled and nodded, thinking that his master is really smart. Wait, do I have an attribute panel or something like that? Bring it up and let me take a look first. As a professional game enthusiast, Lin Tianyao decided to take a look at his initial attributes first, and then determine the direction of strengthening. Okay. As soon as Xiaoxian finished speaking, a translucent screen appeared in front of Lin Tianyao. Hostline Tianyao sex, Malarakes, human strength, 5 flexible, 6 constitution, 4 intelligence, 10 energy value, none overall rating, H legendary scumbag. Although he had long known that this body was weak, Lin Tianyao's mouth still twitched when he saw the comment of legendary Scumcan, that little fairy. Tell me what the average attributes of an ordinary adult male are. Yes, master, the average attribute value of an ordinary adult male is 8. Lin Tianyao answered. I see, that means that except for intelligence, this body has not yet reached the standards of ordinary people. This body is too brittle, and its physique is only half of that of a normal person. I'm gonna choke you. It's so cheating. Taking a deep breath, Lin Tianyao suppressed his inner desire to complain and asked again, what does this energy value mean? It means that your MP value, master, neutralizes any energy, whether it is internal force, true energy, ki, magic power, chakra, etc. In other words, no matter what technique I learn in the future, it will be stored in the form of energy value, and all skills used will also consume this so-called energy value. That's it, my master. Huaxia nodded with a smile on his bright red lips. Lin Tianyao asked still somewhat uncertainly. Even skills with different power systems can be used. That's right, the system will automatically convert what you practice into energy values. Any combat skills, magic or ninjutsu you learn in the future will be used in the form of consuming energy values, and there will be no conflict, Huaxia affirmed. Hearing this, Lin Tianyao nodded, thinking, this is a good thing. If you learn a certain technique in the future and then get a powerful skill, but it turns out that the two are incompatible, the loss will be huge. But the setting of this energy value helped me solve this kind of problem. As long as you learn the exercises, you can use any skills without worrying about incompatibility issues. The legendary one method can conquer all methods. This is simply unbelievable. Next, Lin Tianyao asked again, can martial arts be stacked? What he meant by asking this was, he first learned a certain mental method that could increase a number of attribute points in energy values, and then learned whether another method could be superimposed. No. Higher skills will replace lower skills, and attribute points and energy values cannot be superimposed. Huaxia replied. Hearing this, Lin Tianyao nodded. The meaning in Lin Tianyao words has been made very clear. One can only choose one type of cultivation method. Master, is there anything else you want to ask? No, let me draw the lottery first. As you wish, my lord. After finishing speaking, Lin Tianyao waved her hand, and a blue transparent fluorescent screen appeared in front of Lin Tianyao. There was a rectangular box in the center of the fluorescent screen. The box was divided into 6 small grids, and each small grid was placed. An item. Lin Tianyao looked intently and saw the 6 small compartments respectively containing Pegasus Bronze Saint Cloth, Happy Mind Technique, Desert Eagle Pistol Gold Edition, Ninjutsu, Seal the Ghosts, and moves, 9 yin bone claws and vehicle driving, level 8. What's the driving situation of this vehicle? Lin Tianyao was stunned. In order for you, master, to live a better life in this world, some non-combat skills are still necessary, such as gambling, painting, cooking, driving, etc. The highest level of such skills is 9, and level 8 is equivalent to the Grand Master level. Huaxia said softly with a smile as bright as a flower. So that's what happened. I didn't expect this system to be quite considerate. By the way, how do you use this thing? Lin Tianyao asked, pointing to the fluorescent screen in front of him. Master, just press the round button in the center of the box. Okay, I understand. After saying that, Lin Tianyao pressed the start button, and a triangular red pointer appeared instantly. After 2 rapid circles, it gradually slowed down. Although Lin Tianyao looked calm and elegant on the surface, this was his first lottery draw after all, and he was inevitably worried about gains and losses. For now, Xiaoyo Xinfa should be what Lin Tianyao needs most. Learning it can not only increase basic attributes, but also unlock energy values. The second is vehicle driving. Although Lin Tianyao currently does not have a car, this skill is quite practical, and no one can have too much. On the contrary, combat skills such as Ghost Seal and 9 yin white bone claws cannot be used without energy value, and it is useless even if they are obtained. Especially the sealing of corpses. Anyone who has watched Naruto knows that it is a trick of exchanging lives for lives. Lin Tianyao said that his wonderful life has just begun, and he does not want to die with others. The golden version of the Desert Eagle pistol made Lin Tianyao's heart flutter. After all, every man has a dream of firearms, but this world is still a legal society after all, and this kind of thing is destined to be invisible. As for the Pegasus Bronze Saint Cloth, give me a break. Can he wear it with his current small body? Time passed little by little, and the pointer crossed the Xiaoyo Xinfa, the golden version of the Desert Eagle pistol, and the seal of the zombies. The pointer finally stopped slowly on the 9 yin white bone claws, and then moved towards move later. Not bad. Finally breathed a sigh of relief. In just a few dozen seconds, Lin Tianyao's mood was ups and downs like a roller coaster. Congratulations, Master. You have obtained vehicle driving level 8. Do you want to learn now? Xiaoxian's sweet voice came to his ears, and Lin Tianyao nodded. Yes, study. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Tianyao felt a series of information about vehicle driving skills flooding into his mind. After accepting this information, a confident smile appeared on Lin Tianyao's lips. He believes that from now on, if he wants to race with someone, the other person will definitely be in trouble. Xiaoxian, I want to know what is needed for the lottery? Lin Tianyao, who had tasted the sweetness, asked again. 100 function points, Master. Do you want to draw again? Yes, I think those 100 function points can't be exchanged for anything good, right? Lin Tianyao nodded and said frankly, I'm also ready to suggest that you smoke again, but there is something I want to remind you. Lin Xiaoxian said seriously. What's up? There are only 2 lottery opportunities every 3 months. If you, Master, choose to draw again, you will only have 1 chance in these 3 months. That's it. Lin Tianyao thought for a while and said again, let's draw a lottery. The sooner we use this opportunity, the better, right? Okay, Master. The fluorescent screen appeared, and 6 items were placed again. Lin Tianyao pressed the start button, and the pointer began to move. Moves, mountain-splitting palm passed, superpower, vector control passed, and US $10 million was passed. The pointer finally stopped on a secret book. Congratulations to the Master for obtaining a rare item, the 9 Yang Manual. Do you want to study it? Lin Tianyao was excited. In Jin Dada's novels, this 9 Yang Manual is well-deserved as one of the top techniques. He almost answered with a trembling voice, yes, study. Immediately afterwards, the entire secret book turned into a golden light and penetrated into Lin Tianyao's eyebrows. The huge amount of information made Lin Tianyao stunned for a while. Before he realized it this time, Xiaoxian asked, Master, do you need to bring up the skill panel? Well, tune it out. As Lin Tianyao nodded, a small square data window appeared in front of him. Kung Fu, 9 Yang Manual number of layers, on a bonus, strength plus 15, agility plus 10, constitution plus 10 energy value setting is on. Current energy value, 100/100 after all the attributes were added, Lin Tianyao opened his clothes. The originally loose and thin body became solid, and the pieces of tendon meat were like uncanny carvings, but they were not as tall as Westerners. The high bulge gives it a restrained beauty. It's amazing. Such a powerful feeling. This originally weak body has now become more than twice as powerful as his previous life. Lin Tianyao was excited for a while, but when he saw the level of the skill, he was stunned again. Do I need to practice this technique step by step by myself? Yes, Master. If you need to complete the training in an instant, you must spend function points. Looking at the other party's stunned look, Xiaoxian covered his mouth and smiled. This is too unreliable. It's like an online game that charges for items. It's just a game system. Xiaoxian blinked his talking eyes and boldly teased his master. Okay, you win. Tell me, how many function points are needed to complete this set of exercises instantly? Lin Tianyao asked helplessly. A rare level skill that can be practiced instantly requires 1,000 function points. Is there still a grade level? Xiaoxian nodded and said, well, according to the classification of the system, all items from low to high are ordinary level, fine level, rare level, legendary level, epic level, mythical level, and the supreme level. Lin Tianyao was dumbfounded again. Even this rare level skill already requires 1,000 function points to be directly practiced. So wouldn't the mythical level and higher supreme level? Lin Tianyao shuddered. That is definitely a despairing astronomical figures. However, the first level of this rare level skill has already added 15 points of strength, 10 points of agility, and 10 points of constitution to him. So how much should he add to the mythical level or the supreme level? Thinking of this, Lin Tianyao's heart was filled with heat. No man can resist the temptation brought by strength. With strength, you have everything. In his previous life, he did not have such opportunities and encounters. But in this life, with the help of the system, he is definitely qualified to reach the top. Lin Tianyao clenched his fists. At this moment, his whole temperament changed drastically. Xiaoxian standing next to him seemed to be aware of it. His watery eyes looked over curiously and met Lin Tianyao's eyes. When their eyes met, Lin Tianyao trembled. Could this be the legendary domineering side leakage? Feeling excited in his heart, Lin Tianyao looked like a pig and said slowly, "What about that, little fairy girl? Do you want to give me a hug, eh?" Lin Xiaoxian opened her cute little mouth and looked at her master in shock. He was clearly well behaved before, but how could he look like this now? Seeing the other party's expression, Lin Tianyao shouted in his heart, "Damn it, coach. This script is wrong. Shouldn't the girl at this time be crying and throwing herself down? Lin Tianyao, who understood that he seemed to be thinking too much, touched his nose in embarrassment and said seriously, "Well, I still have 5 attribute points, right? Give them a boost." Upon hearing the master's request, Xiaoxian nodded and suggested softly, "Master, please strengthen your intelligence. The higher your intelligence, the faster you can practice mental techniques, and the more powerful your skills will be." "Okay, then strengthen my intelligence." Lin Tianyao thought for a while and accepted Xiaoxian's proposal. After all 5 attributes were added to Lin Tianyao's intelligence, he suddenly felt that his mind was refreshed, and many things he once didn't understand were now easily solved. "Xiaoxian, open my properties panel." "Okay, master." Host, Lin Tianyao. Human, warrior, kung fu. 9 yang, manual, first level, sex, male strength, 18 flexible, 16 constitution, 14 intelligence, 15 energy value, 100/100 overall evaluation, G, out of the ranks. Of scumbags, seeing his attribute values, Lin Tianyao nodded with satisfaction. It was really gratifying to finally break through the ranks of the 5 scum. "Xiaoxian, what should I do if I want to get out of this space?" "As long as the master silently enters or exits the system in your heart, you can freely enter and exit." "I understand. Thank you, Xiaoxian." Lin Tianyao thanked him from the bottom of his heart. Although he is the master of the system, without Xiaoxian's tireless assistance and puzzle solving, Lin Tianyao might not have been able to get started so quickly. "I am the intelligent program of the system, and you are my master. This is what I should do." Xiaoxian shook his head and showed a sweet smile. Unexpectedly, after hearing Xiaoxian's words, Lin Tianyao retorted firmly, "No, Xiaoxian, you are not intelligent. In my eyes, Xiaoxian, you are flesh and blood, and you have emotions, anger, sorrow, and joy. You, like my family." Lin Xiaoxian was stunned by the master's words. She didn't expect that her master would actually regard her as a living person and his relative. What followed was a surge of emotions. The reason why the master left her hometown and traveled to this world was, in the final analysis, her fault. However, the master not only did not blame himself, but also regarded himself as his relative. How could Lin Xiaoxian not be moved by this? "Master, Xiaoxian, I woo-woo." Lin Xiaoxian cried, crying very loudly. Lin Tianyao always believed that the tears of fairies like Xiaoxian should moisten things silently. "I didn't expect that I was wrong, and it was so wrong. But now is not the time to think about this. He still has to rush to comfort the other person." Xiaoxian, what's wrong with you? Did I say something wrong?" "Don't cry. I know I was wrong when I wanted to hit you earlier. I was wrong. Who knew that it would be a good thing if this was not mentioned?" But when it was mentioned, Xiaoxian cried even more fiercely, with the potential of a flood. Lin Tianyao really didn't know what to do now, neither comforting nor not comforting, just feeling extremely anxious. Seeing his master's clumsy plan, Lin Xiaoxian let out a poof, and a smile broke out on his face. The pear blossom with rain in it looked extremely soft and beautiful. "That's great, Xiaoxian. You finally stopped crying. I was so anxious just now." Seeing Xiaoxian's smile, Lin Tianyao felt relieved even though he didn't know what was going on. "Idiot master." Xiaoxian pouted her cute little mouth and muttered in a low voice, "Huh? What did you just say?" The voice was too soft. Lin Tianyao said he didn't hear it. "It's nothing. Master, why don't you go back yet? You have classes tomorrow." Lin Xiaoxian rolled her eyes and said coquettishly, "Well, if you didn't tell me, I would have forgotten. People who have almost graduated from college have to go to high school again. It's really vomiting blood." Lin Tianyao felt very painful when he thought of this. "Then I'll leave first and come see you when I have time." With that said, Lin Tianyao exited the system. Lin Xiaoxian said softly as he watched his master leave, Okay, I got over it." Familiar ceiling. When Lin Tianyao opened his eyes again, he found that he was still lying on that bed. Immortals, systems, 9 yang manual, gambling techniques. Is this a dream? He sat up suddenly, looked at his body, and felt the surging power in his body. Lin Tianyao looked up to the sky and laughed. It's not a dream. Ha 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 ha. It's not a dream. The next morning, Lin Tianyao got up from the bed early, washed up, and went out. It was late spring and early summer with a gentle breeze and green grass, creating a scene full of vitality. Lin Tianyao bought a cup of soy milk and some meat buns from a breakfast stall and walked to school while swallowing. Not to mention, these meat buns are really solid, with thin skin and lots of stuffing. Unlike those breakfast stalls he went to before, where you couldn't see the stuffing in the first bite, but you ate it in the second bite. Remembering the location of this breakfast stall, Lin Tianyao decided to buy from this one in the future. After breakfast, the school gate was close at hand, looking at the words Jincheng No 16 Middle School marked prominently on the door. Lin Tianyao smiled bitterly again. Does this mean that you are getting younger as you live? Shaking his head and putting aside the emotions in his heart, Lin Tianyao walked towards his class. When I walked into the classroom, just as I had guessed, my classmates looked at me with indifference as if I were a piece of stone. Of course, Lin Tianyao ignored them and walked to his seat alone, which was the last row of the class. Put down his school bag, closed his eyes, and started practicing. After reading the textbooks, he found that these things were not much different from what he had learned in his previous life. Coupled with the fact that his intelligence is far beyond that of ordinary people, he is more than enough to cope with the exam. But before he had settled down for a while, Lin Tianyao heard an uproar in the classroom. Look, it's Qin Wanru. She is indeed the beauty of Qin University, with that figure. That temperament. You think it would be great if she were my girlfriend? Just you? It's better to go home and pee and take pictures. Hearing the comments from the classmates in the front seat, Lin Tianyao also looked up curiously. I saw a tall, long-haired girl carrying a school bag on one shoulder walking towards the classroom. Her delicate facial features were endearing. She was wearing a white sleeveless t-shirt and black tight cropped pants on her legs. Wearing sneakers with picturesque eyebrows and delicate cheeks, she is pure and charming, just like a person in a picture. She is indeed a beauty, worthy of the name of school beauty. Of course, compared to my own Exianer, it's still a little worse. When Lin Tianyao thought about it, except for those two-dimensional beauties, no woman could compare with Exioxian. Seeing Qin Wanru sitting down not far from him, Lin Tianyao entered the cultivation state again. I don't know how long it took, but Lin Tianyao vaguely felt someone pushing him. When she opened her eyes, the first thing that caught her eye was Qin Wanru's pretty and angry face. The male classmates around him were looking at him with all kinds of envy, jealousy, and hatred, wanting to eat him alive. What's going on? It seemed that in his own memory, he had no interaction with the school beauty. But seeing the other party's angry look, Lin Tianyao didn't know why his heart was pounding. So, he asked patiently. How? You actually asked me why? Have you forgotten what you promised me after school last night? The campus beauty of Qin University seemed very angry. School was over last night? Lin Tianyao was startled when he heard this, and then suddenly recalled the scene after school last night. Under the setting sun, a man and a woman stood face to face at the school gate. As long as you study hard and get better grades than me, I will be your girlfriend. I promise you, I will work hard and won't let you look down upon me. Lin Tian was shocked. He didn't expect that there was such a bloody plot hidden in his memory. After thinking about what happened again, the heart says that the original owner of this body is indeed a mortal's wisdom. The beauty of Qin University is ranked among the best in the entire Jincheng city in terms of family background, appearance, and academic performance. How could such a proud girl really fall in love with Lin Tianyao, who has nothing to offer except his face? Small hanging wire? The bottom line is that the beauty of Qin University is the study committee member of the class, and she is also a responsible study committee member. She feels that it is necessary to urge every student in the class to be serious and make progress. And Lin Tianyao was the most special one among the poor students. Even the teachers let him go as he pleased and ignored him. That's why the beauty of Qin University gave him a strong dose of medicine. So, there was the scene last night. It's a pity that my first heartbeat in my previous life didn't take action yet. It was so sad that it died halfway. However, now that I've decided to integrate into this new world, I am no different from my previous life. Once you make a promise, you must keep it. This is a man's rule. Moreover, this Qin University campus beauty is the best of the best in terms of looks and figure. Having such a girlfriend can only be an advantage for Lin Tianyao. After thinking so much, it was actually just a matter of a moment. Lin Tianyao, who had already made up his mind, said, "Don't worry, since I have made an agreement with you. I will not admit defeat. Don't look at me like this. In fact, I am also studying seriously. Well, it is indeed a serious study, but it is just a serious study of martial arts. Are you studying? The beauty of Quinn University looked at Lin Tianyao with disdain. Just sleep when you sleep. I didn't expect that this guy would lie, even though he refused to admit his mistakes. Unconsciously, Lin Tianyao's image in the heart of the campus beauty of Quinn University dropped a bit. Of course, Lin Tianyao understood what the other party was thinking, but he did not explain it, just said lightly. Believe it or not, you don't need to worry about my study methods. You just need to be my girlfriend. One word spoke out, all in an uproar. Damn it, did you hear that? The beauty of Quinn University is actually Lin Tianyao's girlfriend. I heard it. This news is so exciting. My heart is broken. Why would a goddess find such a boring person? Cut. Lin Tianyao is not a boring person. At most, he is reserved. He captured the goddess silently. Do you have this ability? I'm just complaining. The beauty of Quinn University was also stunned. She never imagined that Lin Tianyao would dare to say such words in front of his classmates. Is this still the timid and cowardly guy I knew before? Next came irritation, deep irritation. That's right, she said that as long as the other person's grades exceed hers, she will agree to be his girlfriend. That's because she doesn't think that the other party's grades can surpass hers. After all, Lin Tianyao is just a poor student with the lowest grades, and the agreement is just a temporary solution for the other party. But she didn't expect that this delaying strategy would get her involved. The campus beauty of Quinn University is so hateful. Bespi, Lin Tianyao. You. Shameless. Others also noticed the movement here and focused their gazes on this side. The male was still paying attention and his face was full of excitement. He wished that a certain combination of cow dung and flowers would be destroyed immediately, and he would have the opportunity to be the one with the flowers inserted. Cow dung. Oh. Why am I so shameless? You should tell me. Lin Tianyao didn't care at all. I just said that your academic performance exceeded mine, so I became your girlfriend, not now. The campus beauty of Quinn University was furious, with tears filling her big eyes. That's true, but how can you be sure that I haven't surpassed you now? Lin Tianyao asked. It's only been one day. How could you? How do you know it's impossible? You are arrogant. The beauty of Quinn University was so angry that her cheeks were red and she stamped her little feet. In that case, how about we use this midterm exam to determine the winner? Good, the two of them agreed, and the bell rang at the right time. The beauty of Quinn University returned to her seat angrily, while Lin Tianyao smiled as if his conspiracy had succeeded. This time, the chubby little guy sitting in front of Lin Tianyao turned around and chatted. Yao, brother Yao. Tell me how you hooked up with the beauty of Quinn University. This is a long story. Lin Tianyao chuckled. The little fat man's approach to chatting reminded him of the time when he was chatting and spanking with his roommates. Ah? Did you know that you and the beauty of Quinn University have known each other for a long time? Childhood sweethearts, good friends for life. Get out of here. What a gay friend of yours. Lin Tianyao interrupted him with contempt in his eyes. Brother, I have to continue studying. Why don't you just stay and relax? Brother Yao, you are so awesome. You call sleeping like studying and you are so confident. You are really a role model for us. The little fat man said with admiration. Don't be obsessed with me. He's just a legend. Lin Tianyao was very disgusted. While the two were talking, the teacher came in and the little fat man turned his head back. After a while, when the teacher wasn't paying attention, he turned around again and said very worriedly. By the way, Brother Yao, I heard that there's a guy named Chen Hao in the 3rd year of high school who is also pursuing the beauty of Quinn University. You have to be careful when you meet him. Be careful? What to be careful about? Can he still eat me? Lin Tianyao curled his lips and said disdainfully. I heard that guy is doing well outside school. His boss seems to be a well-known gangster in this area. If he knows about this, I'm afraid. The little fat man didn't finish his words, but everyone knew it. There will definitely be terrible revenge later. So what? Lin Tianyao smiled coldly. With his abilities now far beyond those of ordinary people, how could he still be afraid of these little hooligans? He seems to have practiced taekwondo, and his level is quite high. The little fat man felt it was necessary to remind him. Taekwondo is just a piece of cake, but I practice pure Chinese martial arts. Do you know the secrets of martial arts? Brother Yao, I'm serious. Chen Hao is very powerful in the school. He has more than 20 younger brothers. The little fat man naturally thought that the other party was bragging. There are no martial arts masters these days. I know what I know, so don't worry. Lin Tianyao was full of confidence. By the way, although the protagonist is very kind to his women, he is definitely not the tracheitis type. Time slips away quietly without us knowing. When Lin Tianyao finished entering meditation, he realized that it was already time for school to end at noon. Brother Yao, I'm gonna get some food. Do you want to bring you one? The little fat man came over and asked. He knew that the other party, like him, would stay at school for lunch every day. Thank you, brother, and give me more food. Lin Tianyao nodded. Okay, please wait a moment. Looking at the back of the little fat man leaving happily, a smile appeared on Lin Tianyao's lips. I thought to myself that this guy was really good, just like Wang Erpang, who I used to sleep with. He was just as honest and warm-hearted. Not long after the little fat man left, Huaxia's intoxicating voice sounded in Lin Tianyao's mind. System task reminder. Mission level, super easy revenge must be avenged. Find and punish the 3 gangsters who knocked you out yesterday within 24 hours. Mission reward, 3 attribute points and 50 function points. Failure penalty, deduct 500 function points. Function points are negative, system disappears. Damn it! Thousands of people in the entire school want to call those 3 gangsters super simple? And what about the punishment? Lin Tianyao complained in his heart. The soft and charming call from Huaxia made Lin Tianyao's heart tingle. Since this system task is designated as super simple, it certainly won't make you feel troublesome. As for the failure punishment, that is a reminder set by the system to prevent you from being negative and lazy. Okay, since you said so, Huaxia, what else could Lin Tianyao do but accept his fate, master? Huaxia's soft call seemed a bit resentful. Do you like that girl named Qin Wanru? No, that's the memory of the previous life. It's none of my business. Lin Tianyao shamelessly shirked responsibility. Huh, do you think I, a little fairy, don't know your true thoughts? Bad master, nanny? Have you seen through my heart? Huaxian, you have to be responsible. Lin Tianyao said evilly in his heart. Master, you are getting worse and worse. Huaxian's tone was a little happy, but also a little angry. I am happy that my master has finally come out of the trough of time travel, but I am angry because my master's character is destined to attract bees and butterflies. Lin Tianyao seemed to be able to feel Huaxian's worry about gain and loss, so he stopped teasing the other person and just promised softly. Don't worry, Huaxian, no matter how many women there are around me, you will always be the most important. Well, I believe, master. By the way, master, Huaxian wants to tell you good news. What good news? As long as you, master, work hard to improve your strength, I will be able to appear by your side. And it will be a real human body. When saying this, Huaxian looked very excited. Really? That would be great. Lin Tianyao was surprised and excited. After all, in his mind, Huaxian is his most important person. She hoped to be by his side all the time. How could this not surprise and excite Lin Tianyao? Moreover, it was still a real human body, which meant that he could finally do such and such things with Huaxian. Just thinking about it made his blood boil. Yes, only master, if your strength reaches a certain level, I can leave the system. Well, don't worry, Huaxian, I will definitely work harder. Lin Tianyao clenched his fists and felt that his whole body was full of energy. But why do these words sound so familiar? After the two chatted for a while, the little fat man who went out to get food came back. Brother Yao, here you go, eat. The little fat man handed over the lunchbox, but he lowered his head as if to hide something. With Lin Tianyao's sharp eyesight, he could see the bruises on the back of his left hand at a glance, and his clothes were also wrinkled, as if they had been torn apart by force. What's going on? Lift your head and show me. No, it's nothing. Raise your head. Lin Tianyao's tone was full of doubt. The little fat man had no choice but to raise his head. His face was bruised and his eyes were swollen. Who did it? Lin Tianyao asked calmly. There was no fluctuation in his words, but anyone familiar with him would know that the tiger was about to show off his power. No, I dropped it myself. Until now, the little fat man was still trying to cover up. Let me ask you, who did it? Lin Tianyao emphasized again and asked again. Yes, I was in my 3rd year of high school. When I was buying food. Okay, I don't need to know what happened. You take me to find someone now. With that, Lin Tianyao took the little fat man's hand and walked out of the classroom. Hearing that the other party seemed to be trying to find a place for him, the little fat man was moved but still tried to persuade him. It's just a small injury. It doesn't matter to me. Forget it. Brother Yao. It's nothing. You help me handle things. Now if something happens, of course, I will stand up for you. But there's nothing good to say. Let's go. Lin Tianyao said without any retort. The southwest corner of the campus was originally a small bamboo forest with winding paths, but now it has become smoky. A few arrogant young people were squatting on the steps next to the bamboo forest, smoking cigarettes and puffing away smoke. Coincidentally, Lin Tianyao discovered that his three enemies were among them. No wonder the system defines this mission as super simple. This is such a damned enemy. Let the little fat man wait in the distance. Lin Tianyao put his hands in his pockets and walked over alone. When Lin Tianyao approached the small bamboo forest, those gangsters had already discovered him. One of the gangsters with fluffy hair and sharp mouth and monkey cheeks shouted, "Get out of here, kid. This is not where you should be." Without answering, Lin Tianyao just took a few steps forward quickly, then stretched out his right hand and spread his fingers, covering the gangster's entire face, and pushed back hard. The tyrannical force caused the gangster's feet to lift off the ground, and his body flew upside down like a kite with its string broken. It hit the bamboo forest behind, and the bamboo leaves rustled down. The scene was completely silent, and no sound could be heard except for the painful groans of the sharp-mouthed monkeys. These little gangsters have never seen such a person, who can throw a person weighing more than 100 kilograms with just one hand. Even those European and American strongmen on TV can only do this. In fact, those European and American Dalai may not be able to do this. After all, Lin Tianyao's body contains energy. Of course, it can be said to be internal power here. Reality is not just something that data can express. Although the system does integrate internal forces into energy values, its internal efficacy can still be revealed. It's just that these things need to be explored by Lin Tianyao on his own, and Huaxia also has a partial understanding of them. There is a small bamboo forest in the southwest corner of the school. At this moment, the little gangsters were so intimidated by the power displayed by Lin Tianyao that they didn't dare move at all, fearing that they would become the next target of this evil star. But just because they didn't move didn't mean that Lin Tianyao would let them go. He was not going to be lenient in terms of his mission and venting his anger for the little fat man. You guys come together. Lin Tianyao put his hands in his pockets and said calmly. The gangsters were stunned when they heard this. One of them took out cigarettes from his pocket, took out one, and handed it to Lin Tianyao. Brother, do we have some misunderstanding? I am not your brother, and there is no misunderstanding between us. Either you come together, or you kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times. Lin Tianyao said calmly without looking at the cigarette in his hand. Hearing Lin Tianyao's words, the gangsters didn't know that the other party was here for them and others. These little gangsters are all following Brother Heo. They are the kings and lords in the school. How can they stand such arrogance? At the moment, he didn't care how strong the other party was. He cursed loudly and rushed towards Lin Tianyao. Lin Tianyao smiled coldly, still putting his hands in his pockets and not moving. When the first gangster was about to touch him, he suddenly kicked him out. Bang! The young gangster felt a strong force coming from his chest, and he flew backwards. The 2 people behind him couldn't avoid it, and fell backwards like a gourd. At this moment, 2 gangsters, one on the left and one on the right, had already rushed to Lin Tianyao's side. One of them raised his foot, and the other raised his fist to hit Lin Tianyao. But how could Lin Tianyao let them have their way? I saw him tiptoeing a little, and his body moved to the right, moving to the right side of the 2 people. Then he raised his left leg and whipped his leg towards their abdomen. Lin Tianyao's strength is so powerful, the 2 little ruffians who were hit by his leg immediately screamed in pain, clutching their stomachs and rolling on the ground. After doing all this, an ethereal reminder sounded in Lin Tianyao's mind. The mission of revenge has been completed. The reward is 3 attribute points and 50 function points. Master, you currently have 3 remaining free attribute points and 50 function points. Huaxia. Lin Tianyao smiled, with a charming curve at the corner of his mouth. Well, I'm here, master. Add attribute points to my intelligence. As you wish, dear master. Huaxia responded softly. Feeling his head refreshed, Lin Tianyao felt happy and couldn't help teasing him. Huaxia, come and give me a kiss. I don't want it, bad master. Huaxia looked very shy. Lin Tianyao chuckled, then glanced at the gangsters who were still moaning in pain with a calm expression, turned and left. Wait. A voice stopped him. Looking back, he found that the person in front of him was the one who had just handed him the cigarette. Do you dare to say your name? Zhang Fen asked, holding his chest and breathing heavily. Lin Tianyao couldn't help but give him a high look as he dared to provoke himself under such circumstances. He knew that the other party was planning to find a place, but Lin Tianyao was not afraid at all. The soldiers came to cover up the water and the earth. He, Lin Tianyao, was really not afraid of anyone. What's more, he now has the backing of the system, which can be said to be full of confidence. Grade 2, Class 3, Lin Tianyao. Staring at the other party's leaving figure blankly, Zhang Fento breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. Now he could finally give Brother Heo an explanation. As for whether Brother Heo will help them find a place, that's not what Zhang Fen is concerned about. Outside the small bamboo forest, the little fat man looked at Lin Tianyao, who was slowly walking towards him, his eyes full of admiration. Brother Yayo, I see that you are usually very honest and unassuming, but I didn't expect you to be so good at fighting. You took care of those bastards in just a few strokes. Could it be that you are really a legendary martial arts master? Just average, third in the world. The key point is that the group of pustules were too cowardly. They fell down before I even tried my best. Lin Tianyao flicked his hair and struck a cool pose. That's right, Brother Yao, you have cultivated martial virtues for thousands of years. Lin Tianyao quickly interrupted the little fat man's compliment. Okay, stop taking pictures. Stop taking pictures. I'm not that damn eunuch of Dongfang Bubai. Ah, who is Dongfang Bubai? The little fat man asked doubtfully. Lin Tianyao was instantly alert. Damn it, there is no such thing as gold in this world. How could he have forgotten this? Be low-key. You should be low-key, and don't be too arrogant. Otherwise, if you reveal any flaws, you will inevitably be sent to the research laboratory to be sectioned. Fortunately, I didn't have much contact with people before, so people didn't know me well. But that Quinn University beauty seems to know him a little bit, but to what extent? No, we have to take her down quickly. Even if she is an overlord or something, she must be cooked from raw rice. Lin Tianyao was thinking about what to do when the little fat man next to him asked again, Brother Yayo, where are we going now? Let's go back to the classroom first. Phoenix Entertainment City, Bicheng District, a KTV private room on the second floor. A tall, muscular man was sitting on the sofa smoking a cigarette. This big man looks to be in his 20s, but in fact he is still in high school and has just turned 18 this year. He is Chen Heo from Jincheng No. 16 Middle School. The younger brothers call him Brother Hao, and those who are familiar with him call him Mouse. Of course, with his stature, it really goes against this nickname. The person sitting next to him singing was a young man with a shaved head who looked very capable. The man's arms are longer than ordinary people. His palms are larger than ordinary people, and his knuckles are covered with thick calluses. He is Li Zihu's boss, Zhang King, the well-known Green Snake Gang boss on the streets of Dongcheng District, nicknamed Poisonous Snake. The Green Snake Gang covers several entertainment and leisure venues in Bicheng. Zhang King has practiced martial arts and once fought in underground black boxing. He is a ruthless character. After singing a song, Zhang King turned off the stereo, threw the microphone on the sofa, took out a cigarette and lit it, then crossed his legs and started puffing away. Neither of them spoke, and the entire private room fell into an eerie silence. After a while, Zhang King spoke slowly. Give up, Mouse. The daughter of the Quinn family is not something people like us can reach. Hearing this, Chen Heo smiled bitterly and nodded. I understand, Brother King. I will never pester Quinn Wanru again. It's good that you know our strength is still too weak. Zhang King nodded and sighed softly. While he was talking, Brother Heo's cell phone rang. Brother Heo, something happened in the school. Zhang Fen looked at Lin Tianyao and the two walking into the teaching building, and then he dared to call Brother Hut. What's wrong? Brother Heo asked with a frown. Ji Fio and I were beaten. What? Who is so bold as to touch me? Brother Heo sat up suddenly. The other person is also from our school. He is in the second and third classes of high school. His name is Lin Tianyao. How many of them made a move? Just, he's the only one. You are joking? It's true, Brother Heo. The other party is so powerful that he easily knocked down 6 of us by himself. Fuck. Keep an eye on him. I'll take someone over there now and do it after school. Something happened in school? Zhang King asked with a frown. Several brothers were beaten. Chen Heo hung up the phone and rubbed his brows. Then go over there quickly. Do you need me to ask Abayo and the others to help? No need, Brother King. I can do it myself. Well, call me if you need anything. Zhang King nodded and said nothing more. From the beginning, he was very aware of Brother Heo's strength. He had already become a famous gold medal fighter in Bicheng district at a young age. Secondly, Zhang King felt that it was just a dispute in the school, and it was really inappropriate to recruit people from society. Okay, Brother King, I'm leaving first. Jingle bell, the school bell rings. Finally, the day's classes are over, and the students gather in groups of 2 or 3 to go home together. Lin Tianyao woke up from trance, opened his eyes slowly, and a light flashed in his eyes. In just one day, Lin Tianyao's Nine-Yang manual showed signs of breaking through to the second level. 16 points of intelligence is really not a guarantee. Of course, if there was no system to protect him, his practice in this way would have gone too far. Stretching comfortably, Lin Tianyao suddenly felt a strange look. Turning his head, he found Qin Wanru looking at him with contempt and resentment. The anger is because Lin Tianyao slandered her as his girlfriend in front of so many classmates today. As for contempt, of course the beauty of Qin University felt that Lin Tianyao could not hold up the wall, so she slept for another afternoon. However, Lin Tianyao didn't care about it. He gently raised the corners of his mouth and smiled at the beauty of Qin University. For some reason, seeing the other party's cynical smile, the beauty of Qin University's heart skipped a beat and her cheeks turned red. Why haven't I noticed before that this bastard still smiles? No, Qin Wanru, you must not degenerate. This bastard is a class enemy and a villain who has ruined his reputation. With this thought in mind, Qin University's face turned serious, and she spoke out 2 words like a cold beauty. Rogue. Lin Tianyao's mouth twitched. Hey, you can eat indiscriminately, but you can't talk nonsense. How did I become a hooligan? You smile so shamelessly. What are you if you're not a gangster? A stinking gangster. Qin University's campus beauty snorted coldly. I rely on, do you believe me or not, I am really a gangster. As he spoke, Lin Tianyao walked towards her step by step. Seeing the other party's actions, the beauty of Qin University felt a little guilty and said with an expression of anger, You dare. Lin Tianyao took a step forward again, his handsome face close to the beautiful face of the campus beauty of Qin University. He was using actions to prove that he absolutely dared. Qin Wanru's heart trembled, and she hurriedly backed away but accidentally bumped into the desk behind her. Her body lost weight and she was about to fall to the ground. Lin Tianyao has quick eyes and quick hands. He grabbed the opponent's waist and pulled it into his arms. The warm and soft touch of the tender jade made Lin Tianyao's heart tremble. The manly scent that hit her face made Qin's college beauty confused. She wanted to break free, but Lin Tianyao's arms seemed to be made of steel. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't move an inch, so she had to beg in a low voice. You, let me go. You mean Shenma? I didn't hear. Lin Tianyao said with a bad smile. You? The campus beauty of Qin University was anxious and angry. Fortunately, it was after school time, and there were not many people in the classroom. Otherwise, she would have to find a hole in the ground to crawl in. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Lin Tianyao smiled and let her go.its better to stop this kind of thing as soon as possible. Lin Tianyao also has his own bottom line. The campus beauty of Qin University, who had regained her freedom, glared at Lin Tianyao fiercely, stamped her little feet, picked up her school bag, and hurried out of the classroom. Damn it, Brother Yao is so awesome. He made our Qin University beauty docile and docile. Please teach me a few tricks. Let me also carry a beautiful woman home. The little fat man who had been hiding for a long time came over. Said, Want to learn? You have to pay tuition. Lin Tianyao smiled and put his arm on the little fat man's shoulder, and the two walked out of the classroom. Setting sun like blood, blown by the breeze. Just when Lin Tianyao had just stepped out of the school gate, Huaxia issued a second task to him in her unique voice. System task reminder. Mission level, Easy Campus Overlord, defeat Chen Hao and his younger brothers. Mission reward, 5 attribute points and 100 function points. Failure penalty, deduct 500 function points. Function points are negative, system disappears. Coming. What I expected was indeed correct. Its just that Lin Tianyao thought that Chen Hao would find trouble for his younger brother, but he didn't expect that the system would issue this matter as a task. Isn't this clear about giving yourself points? Brother Yao, what's wrong with you? The little fat man saw him laughing suddenly and asked curiously, It's nothing. There's probably going to be a fight later, so stay away. Who are you fighting with? Chen Hao? Well, they are here. As soon as Lin Tianyao finished speaking, the two of them saw a group of garishly dressed gangsters walking towards them. The leader was a tall and thick man, over 1.85 meters tall. Really, it's really Chen Hao. The little fat man exclaimed. I in the south, a height of 1.85 meters is really rare. Coupled with his magnificent muscles, Chen Hao exuded a mighty aura from his body, which made all the teachers and students around him gasp. A breath of air conditioning. Chen Hao already had a bad reputation in Jincheng 16 middle school. In addition, there were 7 or 8 fierce-looking younger brothers around him, who all gave way to him wherever he went for fear of provoking these evil gods. Lin Tianyao patted the little fat man on the shoulder and asked him to stay away. He calmly took 2 steps forward and walked in front of Chen Hao, putting his hands in his pockets and looking straight. Lin Tianyao is only about 1.73 meters tall, fair-skinned and handsome. Although he is powerful, he is very reserved. From the outside, it looks like a scholar. The comparison between the two showed Chen Hao's tallness and might even more. I could see the teachers and students around me all showing unbearable expressions on their faces. But they couldn't bear it anymore. As for stepping forward to break up the fight or drawing a sword to help when the road was rough, they didn't dare to think about it. They didn't want to offend such a fierce person for a student they didn't know. The security guard standing at the security office at the school gate was so frightened that his face turned pale. Not to mention stepping forward to adjust, he even forgot to call the police for a while. "Boy, are you the Lin Tianyao who beat my brother? You are really good." Seeing that the other party dared to stand up and look at him, and his face was indifferent, Chen Hao couldn't help but have a glimmer of admiration in his eyes. But appreciation is appreciation. But he didn't want to think about it. If they didn't provoke Lin Tianyao first, how could they be beaten to pieces? Now you kneel down and now bow to me 3 times, and I will let you go, otherwise. Chen Hao said with contempt on his face, showing his white teeth. He was repaying the other person in the same way, returning the exact words Lin Tianyao said at that time. After all, we are in school, so it doesn't matter if the words are vulgar or the behavior is frivolous. But if he really wants to fight, Chen Hao is still a little afraid. Of course, if Lin Tianyao doesn't kneel down, he will have to go out of his way to teach him a lesson. If things really break out, the worst he can do is ask Brother King to spend some money to get him out. The worst he can do is stay in a detention center for a few days. Just days. But before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Lin Tianyao. "That's a lot of bullshit. I'll give you a chance to make the first move. Come on, I'm in a hurry. Am I fooling you?" Seeing that Lin Tianyao was even more arrogant than him, Chen Hao finally couldn't help but clenched his fist and swung it towards the opponent's fair and handsome face. He originally disliked little white faces who looked better than him, and now he is extremely disgusted with this face. Seeing Chen Hao punch Lin Tianyao fiercely, some of the teachers and students watching suddenly screamed, and some timid girls even covered their faces and did not dare to look. The little fat man standing not far behind Lin Tianyao turned pale with fright and shouted worriedly, "Brother Yao!" Lin Tianyao watched his fist roaring towards him with the wind of fist. Not only did his handsome face not show any panic expression, but instead he raised a disdainful sneer. The sneer fell in Chen Hao's eyes, making his heart tremble involuntarily. After a moment, I felt something was wrong. I saw that Chen Hao's fist was about to touch the tip of Lin Tianyao's nose. When he saw that the handsome nose was about to splatter with blood under the huge fist, a slender hand quickly and unerringly grabbed Chen Hao's strong nose. Wrist. Severe pain spread throughout his body along his wrist. Before he could struggle, he felt as if his chest had been hit by a sledgehammer. His feet flew off the ground and hit the gangster behind him. Lin Tianyao, who looked a little thin, actually kicked the huge Chen Hao away. Everyone watched with wide eyes as Chen Hao's huge body flew through the air, as if they had seen the most incredible scene in the world. With a height of 1.85 meters, a broad frame, and strong muscles, how much strength is required to kick such a big man into the air? Seeing Chen Hao clutching his chest and moaning, the little gangster's eyes changed when he looked at Lin Tianyao from hatred to fear. Especially those who had been repaired by him at noon were shaking all over and were so frightened that they were about to pee. But Lin Tianyao didn't intend to let them go. Just kidding, this was related to the completion of his own mission. And these guys were not good people to begin with. Lin Tianyao had no psychological barriers when he started. After a few steps into the crowd, Lin Tianyao defeated 2 gangsters, and the group finally woke up. This kid wants to kill everyone. Fight him. Come on, there are so many of us. We can pile him up to death. Fuck him and avenge Brother Hao. An unequal group fight has begun. Lin Tianyao relied on his physical fitness to be far superior to ordinary people, and he also had energy to protect his body. He completely gave up on defense and started attacking with a combination of fists and kicks. In a short time, he knocked these people to the ground. Although Lin Tianyao was kicked a few times in the chaos, he only had a few shoe marks on his body and no damage to his body. Overall, it was a great win. The campus dominance mission has been completed. The reward is 5 attribute points and 100 function points. Master, your remaining free attribute points are currently 5, and your function points are 150. Huaxia's voice made Lin Tianyao's heart flutter. Just as he was about to tease her, the little fat man ran over and gave her a thumbs up. Brother Yao is mighty and domineering, a real man. That's right, don't look at who I am. Lin Tianyao's nostrils were turned upward, not modest either. The two were chatting and laughing and left the school arm in arm. After hearing the conversation between the two, everyone trembled. They looked at the gangsters lying on the ground trying to get up as if they were waking up from a dream, and then looked at the gangsters who were walking further and further away with a hint of fear and disbelief. Still a thin figure. I just felt that the figure was infinitely magnified and lifted up. On this day, Jincheng No. 16 Middle School has a new legend. On this day, countless nymphomaniacs have new idols. In a corner outside the school gate. Qin Wanru sat on the extended Lincoln, looking at Lin Tianyao's leaving back with complicated eyes until he completely disappeared. With a confident and domineering personality and extremely strong skills, this guy is completely different from before. What other secrets is he hiding? Queen University's campus belle expressed great curiosity. The old man in Tang suit sitting in the passenger seat took in Qin Wanru's expression and said with a smile, "Ha! It's like the girl in our family has grown up and has someone she likes." The old man has gray hair on his forehead and deep wrinkles, but he's in good spirits, healthy, and speaks with great energy. Grandpa Li, Qin Wanru said coquettishly. Grandpa Li smiled, then said seriously, "Young girl, if you really like this boy, you have to hurry up. This boy is not simple. He will definitely be a dragon among men in the future." A dragon among men? Qin Wanru was shocked. This was the first time she heard her Grandpa Li speak so highly of someone. But Qin Wanru did not doubt what Grandpa Li said, because she knew that Grandpa Li was a man of great ability, and he was always very accurate in identifying people. If Mr. Qin hadn't been so kind to him, Grandpa Li would never have stayed in the Qin family. Without Grandpa Li, the Qin family would not have developed so rapidly. Now, it has the potential to become the first family in Tianan province. Therefore, Grandpa Li's status is respected in the entire Qin family. Even Qin Wanru's father, the current head of the Qin family, almost respects Grandpa Li and never dares to show any slights. But she didn't expect that Grandpa Li would evaluate a high school student whom he met for the first time as a dragon among men. If the young masters from the top families knew this, how would they feel? And Qin Wanru really couldn't see what was special about Lin Tianyao. At most, he just looks a little more handsome, a little better at fighting, a little more domineering and confident, and a little more charming than before. In fact, she didn't know that when looking at people's faces, it's not just their appearance, but more importantly, their destiny. If it were Lin Tianyao from before, his fate would definitely be short-lived. But his fate has completely changed after time travel. Although Mr. Li couldn't see clearly his final direction, the hazy golden light made Mr. Li conclude that this kid was definitely not a thing in the pool. In the future, dragons will rise to the 9 heavens, which is beyond words. This is why Mr. Li asked Qin Wanru to hurry up. Once Lin Tianyao becomes the son-in-law of the Qin family, the future of the Qin family will be bright and smooth. How could Qin Wanru not know the reason behind it? But she is still just a young girl, so if she approaches someone for the benefit of the family, she will inevitably feel uncomfortable in her heart. Moreover, there is still such an agreement between the two of them. Do you want a girl to pursue someone else? Therefore, Qin Wan subconsciously denied it. Grandpa Li, he is just my classmate, not what you think. What's wrong with my classmates? Your parents are not just classmates, Mr. Li said with a smile. Grandpa Li. Qin Wanru pursed her lips in disbelief. Okay, I won't say anything about you young people. You can handle it yourself. Mr. Li shook his head and said to the driver, "Drive." The car started, and Qin Wanru glanced at Lin Tianyao's disappearing back again, and couldn't help but think of the scene after school. Among them, she still has some affection for Lin Tianyao, but she hasn't reached the point of liking him yet. So, she needs an opportunity. If the other party's midterm exam scores can really surpass hers, she won't mind being his girlfriend. On the contrary, it depends on fate to determine the relationship between two people. Because the two families were far apart, Lin Tianyao parted ways with the little fat man after walking together for a few streets. Walked to his own downstairs, randomly found a restaurant to eat and drink, Lin Tianyao returned to his home. Throwing away his school bag, Lin Tianyao walked straight into the bedroom, lay down on the bed, and thought silently in his heart. Enter the system, the world was spinning for a while. Lin Tianyao felt his eyes blurred, and when he came back to his senses, he found that he was in that vast white space again. Still wearing the snow-white dress, with a peerless face like a fairy and jade-like ice skin, Lin Tianyao squinted her crescent eyes and greeted her with a sweet smile. "Master, you are here." Lin Tianyao's eyes widened, and he thought to himself that the charm of our little fairy is indeed unmatched by anyone. "Hey, little fairy beauty, give me a hug." As he said this, the guy opened his arms with a lewd look and looked like a perverted wolf. "I don't want it." Huaxia wrinkled her nose and snorted, quickly dodged and hid aside. Little beauty, you can't escape from the palm of my hand." Lin Tianyao still rushed forward reluctantly. Dodging Lin Tianyao's dirty tricks again, Huaxia made a playful face and said, "You can't catch me, bad master." "Haha, I still have some skills, but I'm not a vegetarian, uncle." "Just wait and see." The fairy's silver bell-like laughter sounded, and the two of them chased and escaped in the space, having a great time. After a long time, Lin Tianyao lay on the ground in a big shape, panting. The little fairy stood aside, looking at his embarrassment and giggling. Response format was not valid. Please try again. "Hey, master, you are the one who did this." Huaxia raised the corners of his mouth and raised his neck, feeling proud. "There's no way my wife is too beautiful. I can't help it." Lin Tianyao sighed, pretending to shake his head. Hearing the master's words, Huaxia's heart felt sweet. She stared at him with watery eyes and called softly. "Master." Wu Nong's soft words, with a heart-melting sigh, made Lin Tianyao's heart tremble, as if a strange energy filled his 8 meridians, and every cell in his body felt so comfortable. Groaned, "Huaxia." Lin Tianyao couldn't bear it anymore, and the thing called reason was gradually peeling off. Seeing his master panting heavily, his eyes shining, Huaxia knew exactly what the other party was thinking in his heart, and quickly changed the subject, saying, "Master, you still have 150 functional points. Do you want to draw a lottery?" In fact, it's not that Lin Tianyao doesn't like her master. On the contrary, she likes him very much. She likes it more than anyone else. Otherwise, she wouldn't have made up her mind to merge into Lin Tianyao's body. But now she is just a shadow and can't do anything. Lin Tianyao was startled when he heard this, and then he suddenly realized Huaxia's current situation and touched his nose in embarrassment. "Yes, it is." Huaxia saw Lin Tianyao's embarrassment and snickered in his heart. But on the surface, he remained calm. With a gentle wave of his hand, the light blue and transparent lottery interface appeared in front of Lin Tianyao. Lin Tianyao, who'd already had 2 lottery draws, pressed the start button with ease, and the pointer started to move. Lin Tianyao was not looking at the prize on the screen at the moment. Instead, he lowered his head and didn't know what he was thinking. Until Huaxia suddenly shouted in surprise. "Congratulations, master, for obtaining a mythical item, the ancient demon king, the 3-legged golden crow bloodline." Lin Tianyao was stunned when he heard this, and then his eyes widened. "What? A mythical item?" "Yes, master, you are so amazing." Huaxia was also extremely excited, her little face flushed red and beautiful. Lin Tianyao laughed loudly. "A mythical item, just by hearing its name, you know how rare it is. It can be said that besides the supreme level, it is the most awesome and powerful item. And it is also a bloodline that can directly improve one's own attributes just like the exercises. In other words, after using this bloodline, Lin Tianyao's strength will at least increase a lot. The rare 9-yang divine art can improve such high attributes, let alone the mythical bloodline." Seeing Lin Tianyao stop laughing, Huaxia asked softly, "Master, do you use this bloodline now?" "Use?" Lin Tianyao nodded. "How could we not use such a good thing?" "Okay, master. But I want to remind you that the 3-legged golden crow is the emperor of the demon clan. Its bloodline is extremely strong and yang, and it is too domineering. You may be in pain during the fusion process, so you must hold back." Huaxia reminded seriously. "I know. Let's start." As soon as Lin Tianyao finished speaking, a golden light penetrated his body. Immediately after, with a boom, a burst of white-hot flames ignited around Lin Tianyao's body, completely enveloping him, instantly burning all his clothing. But at this moment, He could no longer think about whether to expose himself or not. Lin Tianyao only felt a burning pain spreading throughout his body. Is the bloodline of the ancient demon emperor a trivial matter? This kind of pain can almost be said to be the pinnacle of pain. If Lin Tianyao hadn't understood the heart of a strong man and could hold on to the last bit of clarity, he would have definitely fainted from the pain now. Huaxia frowned at the side, very worried. If possible, she would rather bear the pain on behalf of Lin Tianyao, but this is impossible. No pain, no gain. It is precisely because Lin Tianyao endured huge pain that ordinary people cannot bear. Once he gets through it, he will be able to obtain benefits that ordinary people cannot. Imagine, if you want to be happy, you have to pay a big enough price. It's like nirvana and rebirth. In fact, everything in the world is like this. There is no exception. The bloodline transformation at this time has reached a critical moment. Lin Tianyao's whole body, including his muscles and bones, meridians, flesh and blood, internal organs, and even his soul, had been repolished. Visible to the naked eye, his torso and limbs have become whiter and more delicate, and perhaps even some little girls cannot compare with him. The muscle tissue is very flexible, and the meridians are also expanded to the extreme. Hey! Huaxia clearly noticed the change and cried out in surprise. After a while, Lin Tianyao finally opened his eyes. After glancing weakly at Huaxia and giving her a reassuring look, Lin Tianyao couldn't hold on any longer, tilted his head and fainted. Opening his eyes, Lin Tianyao found himself lying on the bed at home, his mind in chaos. After a brief moment of recollection, I realized that I had fainted after merging bloodlines. Let's first see how awesome the mythical bloodline is. Lin Tianyao called in his heart. Huaxia, I'm here, master. Huaxia's tone was a little coy. Lin Tianyao was very curious, and when he was about to ask, he suddenly felt a coolness in his lower body, and then realized that he was not wearing any clothes. Damn it, why does my skin look like a girl's? Well, this guy actually cares about that. While putting on his clothes, Lin Tianyao was feeling happy in his heart. Huaxia, you have seen me through. You have to be responsible for me. No, I didn't look. Huaxia denied desperately. Lin Tianyao's head was covered with black lines. Huaxia, call up my bloodline module and attribute template. After putting it on, Lin Tianyao said again. Okay, master. Huaxia responded weakly. She seemed to know that she had been exposed. Host Lin Tianyao lineage information, three-legged golden crow, mythical level, purity of lineage, 5% bloodline characteristics. Using light and fire skills, the power is increased by 50% bonus, strength plus 120, agility plus 120, constitution plus 120, intelligence plus 50, maximum energy value plus 1500, race, half demon, warrior, kung fu, 9 yang manual, first level, sex, male, strength, 138 flexible, 136 constitution, 134 intelligence, 66 energy value, 1600/1600 overall evaluation, FA combat power 700. Lin Tianyao was very happy to see his current growth. Except for intelligence, every numerical value has exceeded 100. The only thing that bothered Lin Tianyao a little was that he seemed to have escaped from the category of human beings and became an honorable person. No, half demon. Also, is this purity a magical situation? Why is it only 5%? To this, Huaxia's answer is, although the bloodline of the three-legged golden crow has been completely integrated by you, the master, it still needs a process of accumulation and growth. Accumulation? This kind of mythical bloodline has to be accumulated for years and years? Lin Tianyao overturned more than a dozen spiritual coffee tables. Master, don't be angry. In fact, there are ways to speed up accumulation. It just requires some functionality. I'll go. It's a function point again. Well, 5,000 function points can be exchanged for a blood purifier, which can help you increase your blood purity by 5%. But it can only be used 3 times at most. 5,000? I only have 50 in my body. It's not even enough to sell a kidney. And it can only be used 3 times. Lin Tianyao complained. Master, don't worry. Please listen to me. As long as you increase your strength to L level, you can start dungeon missions. Each dungeon mission can obtain a large number of function points. Huaxia explained. Well, I'm level F now. How long will it take to break through? Huaxia seemed to hesitate for a moment, and then slowly said, I just calculated it. Master, you only need to practice the 9 yang manual to the 5th level and break through to level E. It will take about 3 days with your current intelligence of 66 points. 3 days so fast? Lin Tianyao was shocked for a moment. This was so fast. Isn't this fast? You know, Master, you are now fused with the blood of the ancient demon emperor. Even if you practice cultivation techniques, you can get twice the result with half the effort, let alone just martial arts. Huaxia secretly despised his master. Lin Tianyao thought about it. What kind of existence is the ancient demon king? Let alone cultivation, even if he destroys the world, isn't it as simple as drinking cold water? By the way, Huaxia, what is the specific role of this intelligence? Lin Tianyao suddenly asked. At first he thought it was just his IQ, but later he realized that he was terribly wrong. Giggle, I knew you would ask this question, Master. This intelligence is equivalent to the collection of understanding, mental power, memory ability, etc. It is very important, and martial arts and even ordinary cultivation techniques cannot improve this. Attribute. So, Master, you'd better add all attribute points to this item in the early stage, Huaxia replied with a smile. I understand. Then all the attribute points I get in the future will be used to increase intelligence. Out of trust in Huaxia. Okay, Master, by the way, don't you need to call the school? You know, you have slept all day and night. Huaxia reminded me kindly. Nanny? Qin Wanru glanced at the empty seat in the back row and sighed quietly in her heart. That guy didn't come again today. Something must have happened. Thinking of the conflict between the other party and Chen Haiyao and others the day before yesterday, Qin Wanru felt inexplicably worried. Chen Haiyao suffered such a big loss the day before yesterday, and he will definitely find ways to get revenge. They who came to Ming may not be Lin Tianyao's opponents, but what if they did something evil? The more Qin Wanru thought about it, the more she felt that it was possible. After all, how many of those gangsters were upright? Just when Qin Wanru was hesitating whether to make a call and send someone to check it out, there was a sound at the classroom door. Report. The teachers and students in the classroom looked towards the source of the sound and saw a tall, slender, confident, and tall figure appearing at the door of the classroom. He has starry eyes, sharp eyebrows, a face like a crown jewel, medium-long black hair, and fair skin that makes girls a little jealous. He is wearing a set of well-tailored, retro-style yet fashionable clothes that set off his charming figure. With his unique yet masculine appearance, and his hairstyle tied into a half bun, he is simply the perfect spokesperson for the image of a handsome nobleman. Lin Tianyao? Qin Wanru was shocked. From a slightly handsome and cowardly man to a confident and somewhat domineering strong handsome guy, and now to the handsome young man who exudes mystery and nobility. Qin Wanru really couldn't figure out what this guy had experienced in just a few days, making him look like a monster, changing every day. Of course, except for Qin Wanru. Even the teacher was stunned for a while before reacting. Come in, Lin Tianyao thanked him, then strode into the classroom and sat down in his seat. As soon as he sat down, the little fat man turned around and asked with a playful smile. Brother Yao, did you go for skin grafting surgery yesterday? Which hospital? Lin Tianyao was stunned for a moment and then said angrily, I'll plant your sister. Don't bother me, Brother Yao. Just tell me. I also want to have liposuction. Get out of here. I think this is purely natural. After that, Lin Tianyao added another sentence. No preservatives added. Time flies so fast, and in the blink of an eye, it's time for school to end. Response format was not valid. Please try again. Not only did the strength increase by 42 points, agility and constitution each increased by 35 points. Even the energy value also rose by 500. After moving his body a little, the joints all over his body popped and popped for a while. Even though he was smooth, his mental state was surprisingly good. Lin Tianyao, who was in a happy mood, put his hands on the little fat man's shoulders, and the two talked and laughed. Walked out of the classroom. Before leaving, he glanced at Qin Wanru, who was packing her things. The beauty of Qin University seemed to be aware of it. When she raised her head, she only saw that hateful figure walking out of the door. He opened his mouth, although he had many questions to ask the other party, but thinking about the relationship between the two. The beauty of Qin University did not make a sound in the end. As soon as he walked out of the school gate, Lin Tianyao found a white van not far away hanging slowly behind the two of them. Hey, you really didn't give up? A disdainful sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth, but Lin Tianyao walked forward along the campus road without stopping at all. At a corner 2 streets away, Lin Tianyao separated from the little fat man, then accelerated, and the figure disappeared in an instant. Hey, where is the person? The young man in the van asked in surprise. Are you looking for me? Just when he was about to get out of the car to find out, a hand put on his shoulder. The young man turned around and looked in horror. only to see a strangely handsome young man suddenly sitting in the passenger seat. Response format was not valid. Please try again. Stop talking nonsense. Take me to the person behind Chen Heo now. I have something I want to talk to him about. Lin Tianyao said calmly. Are you talking about Brother King? The young man asked tremblingly. Brother King and Brother Hong, just send me there. Lin Tianyao seemed a little impatient. Yes. The young man didn't dare to be wordy anymore and started the car directly. The young man is nicknamed Jeepy, and he can be said to be the most cunning one in the Green Snake Gang. He had just learned Lin Tianyao's weird methods, and Chen Heo and his younger brothers were still lying in the hospital. Jeepy didn't want to follow in their footsteps. Fenhuang Entertainment City in Dongcheng District, inside an office on the third floor. With a short head, a thin face, and well-dressed Zhang King, he was leaning on a chair with a cigarette in his mouth, looking like a big brother. Tap, 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 tap. Footsteps sounded, and a girl who was dressed in avant-garde and revealing clothes, with a stunning figure and a pair of extremely slender and round legs, walked into the room. Brother King, I'm back. Well, thank you for your hard work, Iwan. How is Mouse doing now? Zhang King glanced at Taimei and asked. It's nothing serious, just some minor injuries, Yuan said truthfully. I have to say that this girl has a really good figure, but the makeup on her face is gaudy, and her eye circles are as dark as a panda. I see. Is that kid really that powerful? Zhang King has been on the road since he was a teenager, and has a very keen sense of people's eyes. When he went to the hospital, he could see that Chen Heo hated and was afraid of the high school student. I really can't believe it. The mouse said that the high school student was very strong, and he kicked him out with one kick. Yuan also seemed to be very curious about the powerful high school student. She still remembered that when Mouse confessed to her, he moved awkwardly, and his fleshy face turned slightly red. Its. No wonder that Mouse was kicked away by his junior. If this news were known by people on the road, Mouse would be completely embarrassed. What? Did he tell you that himself? Zhang King stood up suddenly when he heard this, staring at Yuan in disbelief. With a height of 1.85 meters and a weight of nearly 200 kilograms, even with Zhang King's strength, he didn't think he could do it. Even if he had known for a long time that the other party had beaten 7 or 8 gangsters by himself, it was not as exciting as this news. This time, a young man with dyed yellow hair hurriedly ran in. Brother King, the chicken skin is back. What did he come back for? Didn't I ask him to keep an eye on the high school student? Zhang King asked angrily. I don't know, but he brought a young man back. Young man? Zhang King frowned, then said, Tell him to wait for me in the reception room on the second floor. Okay, Brother King. After the yellow-haired boy left, Zhang King turned his head and said to the little girl with a cold face, Iwan, ask Bao and the others to prepare the guy. I was originally thinking about how to start, but I didn't expect that he would dare to send it to the door by himself. Zhang King is not a fool after so many years of being around. At this time, he still doesn't know that guy GP is definitely messing up things and trying to follow his lead and knocking on his door. But he, Zhang King, is not a vegetarian. There are hundreds of people in the entire Green Snake Gang. How can he be afraid of a mere high school student? So what if this high school student can fight no matter how good he is? Does he really think he is the legendary peerless master? It's just that Zhang King doesn't know yet that what he is about to deal with is a monster, a real monster. Yuan was shocked when she heard this. Brother King, are you saying that the young man with the chicken skin is the high school student named Lin Tianyao? Oh, who else could there be besides him? This young man is really crazy. By the way, take Mouse out of the hospital and let him see with his own eyes how we brothers avenge him. Zhang King smiled coldly. I understand. Yuan nodded, then said hesitantly, Brother King, can you please let the brothers be gentler when the time comes, huh? Zhang King was stunned when he heard this, and then looked at Yuan with surprised eyes, showing an incredible expression. Yuan, you don't know. Are you actually interested in that type of little boy? No, Brother King, I think he is just a child. Yuan hurriedly denied. Zhang King understood, smiled and nodded. Don't worry, I just want to teach him a lesson, and I know it well. Although they are all mixed in society, and they usually attack very harshly when fighting, they still have a bottom line. Phoenix Entertainment City, the reception room on the second floor. Lin Tianyao completely lacked the tension of being in enemy territory. He sat nonchalantly in the high-back chair, legs crossed, leisurely sipping tea. Beside him, the young man Chicken Skin appeared a bit restless, feeling that something big was about to happen next. Actually, he guessed right. Just now, Lin Tianyao had already accepted the third task released by Xiao Xian. The task requires him to intimidate the Green Snake Gang. The task rewards are 3 attribute points and 100 functional points. The penalty for failure is still the same, deducting 500 functional points. Functional points are negative, system disappears. In other words, no matter what method he uses, Lin Tianyao has to make everyone in the Green Snake Gang fear him, and it must be awe from the heart. Lin Tianyao knew very well that if he wanted to awe these gangsters from the bottom of his heart, he had to use strength or power to crush each other. Although he is neither a second-generation official nor a second-generation rich man and does not have any power, he does have terrifying super strength. Therefore, as long as Lin Tianyao fully demonstrates this strength, then this task should be considered completed. Thump, thump, thump. A series of footsteps sounded. A dozen strong young men armed with weapons rushed into the living room and completely blocked the exit on the left. One of them is tall, with bare arms and bulging chest muscles, a bandage on his abdomen, and a steel pipe in his hand. He looks very cool like Chen Haonan in the movie Young and Dangerous in his previous life. He is Brother Hao.as. Soon as this guy heard that Brother King was going to avenge him, he ran out of the hospital regardless of his own injuries. Almost at the same time, the thumping sound sounded again, but more than a dozen gangsters rushed over, blocking Lin Tianyao's right side, forming a semicircle with the dozen people in front and surrounding Lin Tianyao. Lin Tianyao put his hands in his pockets and stood up. His eyes slowly swept over the gangsters holding steel pipes and machetes, and finally landed on a middle-aged man outside the encirclement. Zhang King has a short head, a thin face, and a black suit. He is leaning on the wall behind him with a cigarette in his mouth and his legs crossed. He has the demeanor of a successful person. Qing, Brother King. Jipi was startled by the formation in front of him and shouted tremblingly, "Bah, you idiot, you called me King Ji too?" A bald man next to Chen Hao raised the steel pipe and pointed at the chicken skin with a look of disdain on his face. "Leopard brother, let me explain to you. Explain your sister and die for me." As soon as he finished speaking, Brother Bao kicked Jipi in the stomach and kicked him far away. After doing this, the bald male leopard brother glanced at Lin Tianyao, then turned his head in shock and said, "Mouse, are you kidding me? A fair-faced guy like that can kick you into the hospital? I think you should stop wandering on the street and go back to kindergarten." After that, he made a pacifier. The action caused the gangsters to burst into laughter. Only Brother Hao and his younger brothers who were not seriously injured did not laugh. Especially Brother Hao's face was even more ugly. "Ah, Bao, as long as you can take him down alone today, I will be your little brother from now on and call you Brother Bao." Brother Bao and Chen Hao are both gold medal fighters under Zhang King, and their status can be said to be equal, okay? Brother Bao howled excitedly when he heard this, then bared his teeth at Chen Hao and said, "Did you say this yourself?" Chen Hao saw Brother Bao's eyes flashing with excitement, as if he was sure of his fate. He didn't know why he suddenly felt a sense of gloating. He knocked the steel pipe to the ground and said, "Damn it, I never mean what I say." "Yes. But if you are knocked down, you have to call me Brother Hao." Brother Bao hesitated after hearing this. After so many years in society, no one is a fool, and Mouse himself was kicked into the hospital. I'm afraid the other party has some skills. Seeing Brother Bao's hesitation, when Chen Hao was about to get more aggressive, he heard Lin Tianyao say calmly, "No need to bother. Come on together." Chen Hao and Brother Bao were stunned when they heard this, and both turned their attention to Lin Tianyao. "Don't get me wrong, I'm not asking you two to go together." After a pause, Lin Tianyao glanced around and said in a cold tone, "I mean, you 30 or so scumbags should all be together." What did he say? Damn it! This kid is so crazy. Lin Tianyao's words made the gangsters shout with indignation. A Yuan, who was hiding behind the crowd, was also a little angry. She thought to herself that this high school student was quite handsome. "Are you looking for death?" Sure enough, Brother Bao, who was closest to Lin Tianyao, was the first to take action. In a rage, he raised the steel pipe in his hand high and struck Lin Tianyao hard on the shoulder. Of course, he wouldn't dare to point a steel pipe at the other person's head, as that would kill someone. Regarding this point, Brother Bao, who has always regarded fighting as eating, is very familiar with it. Not good. Zhang King, who was outside the encirclement. Except for Zhang King and Brother Hao, seeing Lin Tianyao motionless, everyone thought that Lin Tianyao had been completely frightened by this formation and did not know how to deal with it. But just when everyone thought that the other party had been frightened and Brother Bao was about to succeed, Lin Tianyao suddenly moved. Before Brother Bao's steel pipe fell, he kicked Brother Bao hard in the stomach. The huge force caused Brother Bayo, who was originally sitting and leaning forward, to fly backwards and hit the chair behind him. Then, with a loud bang, Brother Bayo and the chair fell to the ground, and the chair fell to the ground. It was pressing heavily on Brother Bayo, and the chair wheels in the air were still spinning quickly and freely. Everyone stared blankly at Brother Bayo, who was pressed down by the leather chair, and everyone seemed to have forgotten to breathe. The whole living room suddenly fell silent. A gust of evening breeze blew in from the window, and everyone shivered in unison. "Your name is Chen Heo. Are you healed?" Lin Tianyao took back his foot, looked at Brother Hao, and asked in a calm tone. Looking at Lin Tianyao's calm eyes, Brother Hao couldn't help but shudder, unable to raise any resistance. Brother Lin is indeed very skilled. Can we admit defeat today? Just when Chen Heo was facing Lin Tianyao and didn't know how to answer, Zhang King threw the cigarette to the ground, crushed it twice with his leather shoe, and then he strode over and bowed his hands. Brother King. Seeing the boss taking action, the gangsters all secretly breathed a sigh of relief and stepped aside to make way for them. No. Lin Tianyao didn't take a mere gangster boss seriously. He had accepted the task, and he would definitely subdue these guys today. Therefore, he raised his foot towards him and kicked him without any hesitation. Seeing that the other party did not give him any face, Zhang King couldn't help but change his face slightly. He turned his palms, put his 10 fingers together, and pecked Lin Tianyao's kicking leg with both hands like a snake. But when he saw that his hand was about to touch the opponent's leg, Zhang King suddenly felt a blur in his eyes. The leg suddenly accelerated, and an afterimage passed under the light. This is impossible. Zhang King's pupils suddenly dilated, and he shot out a horrified look, and then a huge force hit his abdomen hard. The pain made Zhang King bend down like a shrimp, and then he flew 4 or 5 meters away with a loud sound and fell down. On the ground. Brother King. Seeing Zhang King being kicked to the ground by Lin Tianyao, Iwan and a gangster rushed over to help him up and moved him aside. The others picked up the steel pipes and rushed over. Hey, that's right. Lin Tianyao chuckled upon seeing this, kicked his feet forward suddenly, and his whole body turned into a stream of light and rushed into the crowd. Ping! 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 Lin Tianyao was like a tiger entering a flock of sheep, using both feet together and making heavy shadows on his legs. The gangsters were dumbfounded. If the people around him hadn't fallen down one after another, they would have thought he was on the set of a martial arts movie. In less than 5 seconds, all the gangsters were lying on the ground, and all the steel pipes and machetes were scattered on the ground. The scene was indescribably spectacular. After dealing with the gangsters, Lin Tianyao clapped his hands, picked up a machete slowly, and walked to Zhang King. When Zhang King and the others saw this scary guy coming towards them, their legs trembled, and even Zhang King's face turned extremely pale. But as the boss, he had to bravely come forward. Brother Yao, it's our fault this time. We admit defeat. Please let us go if you can. Zhang King finally said as he saw Lin Tian approaching step by step. Lin Tianyao didn't answer. He just held the machete in both hands and twisted it gently. The machete was twisted into a twist, as if it was made of plastic. Zhang King looked at the twisted machete in Lin Tianyao's hand, and cold sweat suddenly fell from his forehead. Only then did I realize how gentle and polite the other party had just been. If he really used that much force, they would probably be disabled immediately if they didn't die. I don't like trouble. 4 days have passed since Lin Tianyao subdued the Green Snake Gang. To say that Lin Tianyao has been quite leisurely in these 4 days. Apart from practicing, he either chats with the chubby boy, or flirt with little fairy, or teases the Quinn School's beauty queen. As early as 2 days ago, during the midterm exams, Lin Tianyao's 9-yang scripture had already been practiced to the 5th level, with all attributes increasing again. Even the overall evaluation has already broken through to E level. Today, Lin Tianyao's panel attributes are host, Lin Tianyao sex, male lineage, 3-legged golden crow, 5% purity, race, half-demon, warrior, kung fu, 9-yang manual, 5th level, skill, fierce sun. This is a bloodline. Passive skill, using light and fire skills, the power is increased by 50% strength, 220 flexible, 211 constitution, 207 intelligence, 66 energy value, 3000/3000 overall evaluation, E combat power 1200. It can be said that Lin Tianyao today is already a monster-like existence to ordinary people. Well, he is actually a monster. But at the same time, Huaxia also said that Lin Tianyao has just passed the novice stage, and his promotion will become more and more difficult in the future. If he wants to break through to D level, his combat power must reach at least 5,000. This cruel fact was like a basin of cold water, which drenched Lin Tianyao, who was originally a little arrogant due to his improved strength, and suddenly felt that he would never love again. Fortunately, after reaching E-level strength, the dungeon system was finally enabled. This made Lin Tianyao's originally wet heart become hot again. According to Huaxia's introduction, this dungeon system is really a good thing. Just like the infinite novels Lin Tianyao read in his previous life, he can travel to various worlds to kill and set fire to snatch girls. Of course, Lin Tianyao is just a monster, not a devil. Generally speaking, he would not do things like murder and arson. However, this premise is that the other party has not provoked Lin Tianyao for robbing girls. Lin Tianyao said that this is possible, but the word grabbing cannot be used. Mr. Lin believes that he is a civilized person and always uses true feelings to impress others. If there is no emotion, then it is better to buy an inflatable doll, don't you think? Just when Mr. Lin was about to take a walk in the dungeon world with a lewd smile, Huaxia kindly reminded his master. If you do not complete the 3 main tasks, you will not be able to leave the dungeon world. Although the flow of time in the dungeon world is many times faster than that in the real world, dungeon tasks are full of uncertainties. Huaxia suggested that his master should arrange things in the real world before entering .in this way. Lin Tianyao had no choice but to give up entering the dungeon temporarily because the results of the midterm exam were about to be announced. Although Lin Tianyao, who has a heaven-defying system, doesn't care about this, he still has an agreement with the beauty of Qin University. In addition, after getting along for the past few days, the relationship between the two has developed to an ambiguous level. It can be said that they are just waiting for the day to come. The head teacher walked into the classroom with a cheerful face. As expected, Lin Tianyao ranked first in the grade with nearly full marks. Hearing this result, the whole place was silent, and then a boom broke out. Damn it, my boss just said who is the first place. Looks like it's Lin Tianyao. This is impossible. It must be cheating. If you cheated on your sister, who would you choose to cheat if you were number 1 in the whole grade? The invigilator? The gorgeous turn at the end of the crane is the rhythm of a counterattack. He gets first place every day when he sleeps. This guy is definitely a monster. Qin Wanru turned around and looked at Lin Tianyao blankly, her beautiful eyes full of shock. Could it be that what he said 2 days ago was true and that he really had a photographic memory? This is too incredible. But if this were not the case, what other reason could there be to explain what was happening before us? At this moment, Lin Tianyao also turned his head and smiled at her with bared teeth. A touch of flawless whiteness made Qin Wanru's heart beat like a deer. Her pretty snow-white face was instantly covered with red clouds, and she turned her head, not daring to look at him again. His grades really surpassed mine. What should I do? What should I do? Do I really want to be his girlfriend? He is so handsome and good at martial arts, and his academic performance is good now. Moreover, Grandpa Li said a few days ago that he will definitely become a dragon among men. Think about it this way. Actually, he is still very good, well, except for being a bit domineering and bad. Then there's nothing wrong with letting him be your boyfriend. If he wants to go on a date with me, then he has to agree. If he agrees, what should he do if he does those bad things to himself? I have to say that sometimes a woman's imagination is really wild. Before the relationship has been established, she has already thought of dating. Just when the beauty of Qin University was struggling, a familiar and frivolous voice sounded in her ears. What is my little beauty thinking? Tell me and listen. It's just an appointment. Halfway through her words, the campus beauty of Qin University suddenly woke up. Looking at Lin Tianyao's handsome face so close, she was startled. After she reacted, her beautiful face changed again. Turning red, he said in anger and embarrassment, "Hey, you, when did you run over? Also, don't talk nonsense about who your little beauty is. You know who my little beauty is, don't you?" Lin Tianyao said with a bad smile. I don't know at all. The beauty of Qin University shook her head and refused to admit it. Okay, let me tell you, her name is Qin. Don't listen, I won't listen. The beauty of Qin University simply covered her ears. Lin Tianyao's heart trembled when he saw her cute appearance. Without waiting for the other party's reaction, he kissed her delicate face heavily and made a wave sound. Boom, the male students around him were in an uproar. Handsome Lin, who is usually quiet, can get so angry sometimes. I can't believe it. And after watching an intimate scene for free, everyone's blood was boiling. When they looked at the lesbians next to them, there was unconcealable desire in their eyes. Ah! The beauty of Qin University came back to her senses at this time and pointed at Lin Tianyao, very embarrassed. You bastard. I can't help it. My little beauty is too beautiful. Heh. I will fight with you. After school, Lin Tianyao held the beautiful hand of Qin University and walked out of the school gate. The afterglow of the setting sun poured down on the two of them, as if they were covered with a layer of golden gauze, which was so beautiful. The little fat man on the side gave a thumbs up in his heart. What a couple. No, a golden boy and a beautiful girl, like Lin Tianyao called softly. The beauty of Qin University looked a little shy. I may have to go out for a while these 2 days. The beauty of Qin University was stunned when she heard this, and asked with great reluctance, "Where to go?" "Going back to the master's school is where I was taught martial arts." Lin Tianyao didn't know how to explain it, so he had to make up a nonsense about coming out of the master's school. Could it be said that he was going to download a dungeon? "You should know that I can do martial arts, right? That day I found you and a little old man sitting in that car observing me." "What little old man? That's my grandpa Lai." The campus beauty of Qin University corrected. "Okay, Grandpa Lee." Lin Tianyao compromised. "How come I haven't heard of your other sect before?" Qin University's campus beauty asked in confusion. "Do you still remember the day I agreed with you? After we separated, I was knocked unconscious on the way, and then I was saved by an old man with a white beard. As a result, the old man found out that I was a unique martial arts wizard." Lin Tianyao made up a very bloody plot. "So that's it. No wonder I felt like you were a different person from that day on." Qin Wanru believed it because this plot really solved the confusion in her heart. "I can't help it. I'm just such a cool guy. People like this hermit are always crying and begging me to inherit his mantle. Bah! You're so pretty." The campus beauty of Qin University rolled her eyes at him charmingly and then asked, "Where is your master and how long will it take you to come back?" "Well, I don't know where the master is. My master said he would send someone to pick me up. Don't worry, I'll be back when the matter is done." Lin Tianyao broke into a cold sweat when asked, "You must go early and come back early." "Well, don't worry. No, 18 Lonjiang Villa area, Jincheng." "What, Uncle Lee, are you serious? Wanner is really in love?" The middle-aged man sitting on the sofa stood up suddenly, asking in astonishment. As Qin Wanru's father, Qin Yuanhong was well aware of his daughter's high standards. Even the princes in the capital city she did not show any interest, so he did not expect this in the small golden city. Mr. Lee touched his beard, smiled and nodded happily. It seems that Uncle Lee has met each other. Qin Yuanhong's eyes were so vicious, and he could tell at a glance that Uncle Lee seemed to be very satisfied with his daughter's boyfriend. Hearing this, Mr. Lee did not deny it. "That kid is Wanner's classmate. His name is Lin Tianyao, and he is an orphan? Orphan?" Qin Yuanhong frowned. "Yes, an orphan with both civil and military skills and a noble destiny." "Excellent in both civil and military affairs. Noble destiny." Qin Wanhong's square and majestic face became solemn. "I want to meet him. I heard from Wanner that he seems to be going back to his master's door in the next 2 days, so let's wait until he comes back." "Shimin, could it be that he—" Mr. Lee nodded. "She should be a disciple of the ancient martial arts sect." Night deep. Lin Tianyao lay on the bed, thinking silently in his heart. Enter the system. The white space, Lin Tianyao spotted that extraordinary and isolated figure at a glance. Little fairy. The little fairy opened her red lips lightly, walked over and called out, "Master, Huaxia, you are beautiful again. Master, you are not serious again." Lin Tianyao chuckled. "Huaxia, I'm here to download a copy. Yes." Huaxia nodded slightly, waved his hand, and a ball of light blue light appeared in the space. The ball of light grew longer and larger, turning into an oval aperture. "Is this the entrance to the dungeon?" Lin Tianyao was stunned. The aperture was exactly the same as the portal in Diablo, i.e. played in his previous life. "Yes, Master. Can I choose which dungeon world I want to go to?" "Master, your strength reaches B level, or you can choose your own after entering a certain dungeon and completing 3 main missions." That means the dungeons I enter now are all random?" Huaxia nodded. "That's the master, but don't worry, the difficulty of the dungeon will be at most the same as your strength level, and it won't exceed much." "I understand." With that said, Lin Tianyao stepped into the circle of light. Immediately afterwards, I felt my eyes go dark, and then there was a light and airy feeling all over my body, and then there was a strong sense of trance. Finally, I couldn't resist it anymore and fell asleep in a daze. When he regained consciousness, he found that he was already on a campus. At the same time, Lin Tianyao received the task assigned to him by the system. Current world, School Apocalypse Host Identity, Lin Tianyao, a transfer student from China, Class AA, 3rd grade at Fujimi Academy. Main Mission 1. Protect Komuro Takashi, Miyamoto Rei, Bosujima Sayeko, Takagi Saye, Hirano Toda, Marikawa Shizuka, and other protagonists from escaping the academy. Reward, 1,000 function points. Punishment for mission failure, 2,000 function points deducted. The function point is a negative number, which is system disappears. Main Mission 2, unknown. Main Mission 3, unknown. Side Mission, unknown. Hidden Mission, unknown. The anime School Apocalypse is like a campus version of Resident Evil. It mainly tells the story of a zombie virus that suddenly begins to ravage the world, turning all infected humans into dead bodies that can only eat living flesh and blood. The main line of the story is Komuro Takashi, Miyamoto Rei, Bosujima Sayeko, and others struggle to survive against the dead body. Response format was not valid. Please try again. Monsters are bloodthirsty. This is their nature.its, just that the main world is a legal society, so Lin Tianyao has no choice but to hide this nature deeply. But in this world with the theme of bloody violence, Lin Tianyao was finally able to let go of his inhibitions and experience the thrill of killing. Well, first find the protagonists and join them, otherwise it will be a big mistake if something unexpected happens. Thinking like this, Lin Tianyao walked towards the school's health room based on the route in his memory. While walking, Lin Tianyao said in his heart, Huaxia, how many function points are needed to exchange for a durable weapon? What type of weapons does Master require? Knife or sword or an axe will do. Lin Tianyao was originally going to change to a pistol, but after thinking about it, he decided against it. He felt that it would be more convenient for him to use cold weapons. Okay, Master, what do you think of this weapon? As soon as Huaxia finished speaking, a transparent fluorescent box appeared in front of Lin Tianyao, and an image of a weapon similar to a Tang Dao appeared in the box. This is an ordinary level weapon. After use, it can increase combat power by 180 points. The redemption requires 50 function points. Lin Tianyao decided. In a flash of white light, the Tang Dao appeared in Lin Tianyao's right hand. A T this time. A shrill scream sounded. After hearing the sound, I saw a middle-aged man who looked like a teacher at the gate of the school, rolling on the ground and howling miserably, covering his arm that was spurting blood. Beside him were 2 men and 1 woman who also looked like teachers. Outside the iron gate, there was a strange man in a suit with a mouthful of blood who kept hitting the closed iron gate with his body. The female teacher was very concerned and went to check on the bitten male teacher, but the male teacher bit her neck. Red blood splashed out. Fuck, it started. Lin Tianyao wanted to rush to the door to save people, but it was too late, so he had to speed up and run towards the health room. Notify teachers and students. Notify teachers and students. There is violence on campus now. Students should immediately follow the guidance of faculty and staff to evacuate. Repeat, now on campus. At this point in the broadcast, a busy tone suddenly appeared, followed by a harsh buzz. Sound. A T this time. The broadcast sounded again, but the person making the broadcast was obviously far away from the microphone, but everyone could hear the words, no. Help. Accompanied by a hoarse scream that humans can understand, the whole school fell into a terrifying silence, as if everything died at this moment. The end is coming. Lin Tianyao breathed out a soft breath, and the corners of his mouth curved in a strange arc. Time seemed to be infinitely extended, silent. A terrifying atmosphere suddenly enveloped the entire school. The air seemed to gradually become colder, making people feel creepy, triggering deep fears in the human heart. After a few seconds of eerie silence, driven by the desire to survive, the students rushed to escape the classroom. Dragging, trampling, crowding. Former good classmates, friends, and even siblings have already revealed their true nature at this moment. Regardless of how they once made promises of eternal friendship, they are now ruthless in fighting for more survival opportunities, mercilessly turning against those around them. Screams echoed over the campus one after another. In the endless chaos, the ugly side of human nature is vividly displayed at this moment. Lin Tianyao saw the loving couple holding hands and escaping together a moment ago. Just because the woman was grabbed by the ankle by the dead body, her boyfriend, who was sharing life and death, angrily stepped on her head with an angry foot. So that she, who still had a slight chance of escape, was stunned. She lost her strength and fell into the pile of dead bodies at the bottom of the stairs, where she was eaten alive. And the man didn't fare much better. he was caught off guard by the dead body behind him and turned into a pair of desperate mandarin ducks. It was really gratifying. As time goes by, the number of dead bodies in the entire academy is increasing, and the number of living people is decreasing. The school that was extremely peaceful 10 minutes ago has turned into a hell on earth. Lin Tianyao held Tang Dao, and all the dead bodies that came close to him had their heads cut off. These dead bodies really posed no threat to him. Along the way, the blood had already dyed the black school uniform on his body bright red. When Lin Tianyao walked into the health room, he saw the cold and charming girl with long purple hair raising the wooden knife in her hand. Keeping a man's dignity is a woman's reserve. Snapped. Lin Tianyao sighed softly. Although this man with glasses who had his eyes opened didn't have much ability and was just a flash in the pan, this did not affect Lin Tianyao's appreciation of him at all. The more crisis moments, the more one's true nature can be seen. The glasses-wearing man named Ishii sacrificed himself to buy time for Jukawa Shizuka to escape. This kind of behavior can be considered heroic in a sense. Heroes have always had it tough. Lin Tianyao would never be a hero. But this doesn't stop him from admiring heroic figures. Because of this, Lin Tianyao was originally prepared to save his life, but unexpectedly, it was too late in the end. Tianyao-kun. Seeing Lin Tianyao, Bosujima Saeko's face showed a hint of surprise. Lin Tianyao's identity in this world is Bosujima Saeko's classmate, and the relationship between the two is not bad. Hey, it's just what I want. In this case, it will be easier to conquer. Thinking so, Lin Tianyao also looked very happy on his face. Saeko-san, I'm glad to see you're okay. Zizi, is this handsome guy your classmate? Should I say that he is really stupid? Marikawa Shizuka was just stunned for a moment before she came to her senses and asked Bosujima Saeko, as if nothing happened just now. I have to say, Ishii-san's death was really tragic. Yes, Teacher Marijuan, Tianyao-kun is sitting next to me. Roar. The previous noise attracted some more dead bodies. Let's get rid of these guys first. Lin Tianyao took a step forward with a calm expression, subconsciously blocking the two of them behind him. Maybe it was a fighting machine. Every time Lin Tianyao fought with others, he would become calm or ruthless, just like now. Seeing his actions, Bosujima Saeko's beautiful eyes flashed with a different kind of emotion. She hadn't felt this kind of protection for many years. But, I am not a delicate vase, Tianyao-kun. The wooden sword in Bosujima Saeko's hand was tightly clenched, and a rather strange smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Here we come. Lin Tianyao warned, and made a light stroke with the Tang Dao in his hand. Plop! A dead body fell to the ground without a head. Saeko's movements were not slow either. She easily dodged the attack of a dead body, then returned to move with a wooden sword and struck it hard on the head. The dead body fell to the ground silently, and they lost one more companion. Within a few seconds, Lin Tianyao had already taken care of the dead body on his side. He was holding the knife and was about to help Seiko, but he saw the other party slowly pulling out the wooden knife from the dead body's head with a snow-white pretty face. Sick flush. Saeko, are you okay? Marikawa Shizuka, who noticed her condition, asked worriedly. It's okay. Saeko shook his head. Lin Tianyao, who had read the original work, naturally knew what was going on with her and couldn't help but feel a little shake in his heart, but he didn't say it out loud. He just rushed forward and killed the remaining dead bodies. What should we do now? Saeko asked after regaining her emotions. Response format was not valid. Please try again. I have a car. The two of them looked at the blonde Marikawa Shizuka at the same time, and then she added, but the car keys are in the staff room. Okay, let's break through. In the corridor, full of shapeless corpses, Lin Tianyao and Bosujima Saeko protected Marikawa Shizuka one after another, and the dead bodies encountered by Luyu were headshot one by one. This strong sense of killing pleasure made Lin Tianyao feel intoxicated. The bloodthirsty nature of the demon clan was also greatly satisfied at this moment. This moment, sharp-eyed Lin Tian saw a pair of young men and women running towards each other across the aisle. The man was holding a baseball bat, and the woman was carrying a long gun. The boy has short black hair, a slender figure, and is very handsome, while the woman has an extremely hot figure which does not look like that of a 17-year-old girl. She has orange hair. She has long colored hair, a short ponytail on the back of her head, and two cute hairs on the top of her head. It is the heroes and heroines of this world, Komuro Takashi and Miyamoto Rei. Just when Lin Tianyao was thinking about whether he wanted to personally verify Miyamoto Rei's identity, he heard a hysterical scream suddenly coming from the other end, not far from the two parties, at a corner. No, don't come over. I told you not to come over here. I have had enough. Damn it, this scream is really earth-shattering. Lin Tianyao complained in his heart, but the movement of his feet was not slow, and his whole body rushed towards the source of the sound like an arrow off the string. Others followed closely and turned around to take a look, only to see in the hall, a girl with pink twin tails was holding an electric saw and sawing crazily that it had been sawed into a pile of pieces in front of her. The dead body of flesh. Not far from her, there stood a fat man with a slightly bloated figure and black-rimmed glasses. Okay, this should be Saya Takagi and Toda Hirano. The protagonists are finally assembled. And in this hall, there are also quite a few corpses, swaying towards the two bewildered people. Upon seeing this, Lin Tianyao took the lead and rushed forward, with Haruko closely following behind him, holding a wooden knife in her hand. The two rushed into the group of corpses. Lin Tianyao's footsteps were light, as if he were a graceful gentleman strolling in the leisurely courtyard, drawing out silver rays with each step, while Duodao Hanako's hands moved swiftly as lightning. In just a few seconds, they had resolved all the corpses, leaving the rest of the onlookers gaping in astonishment. Takagi, are you okay? Seeing that the danger was over, Miyamoto Rei quickly ran to the girl with twin tails, and Murakawa Shizuka also followed to help check whether the girl was injured. It's so scary. Geo Cheng Saya was so frightened. Awesome. Are you 3-year seniors? At this time, Kamuro Takashi also reacted and looked at the man and woman in front of him in surprise and asked in his eyes. The man and woman in front of him were simply ridiculously strong. He knew that although these dead bodies move slowly, they were extremely powerful. Once you don't give up and get caught, it's a dead end. And these two people, especially the handsome man holding a steel knife, killed the dead body like chopping melons and vegetables. You all should recognize Marikawa, school doctor. I am Bosushima Sayako from Class 3AA, and this is my classmate, Lin Tianyao. Sayako shook off the blood on his body and introduced the three people on his side. Come, 2 in your Class BA, Kamuro Takashi. On the side, Miyamoto Rei heard the conversation between the two and said happily, It's Bosujima Senpai who won the national competition last year, right? I'm Rei Miyamoto from the Spearmanship Club. I am Hirano Toda from Class B. On the other side, the fat otaku wearing glasses also touched his head and introduced himself with some embarrassment. Obviously, he was still a little embarrassed in front of strangers. Shy, please take care of me. Siko narrowed her eyes and smiled sweetly, and the little chubby geek was dumbfounded. Why? Everyone looks fascinated. What kind of senior? If Miyamoto hadn't repeated a grade, you wouldn't be in the same year as her? The twin-tailed ponytails who were still kneeling on the ground with tears hanging from the corners of their eyes looked a little demented. The girl stood up dissatisfied and interrupted. Takagi, what nonsense are you talking about at this time? When Takashi Komuro saw that Reiko Miyamoto's expression was a bit embarrassed, he couldn't help but scold, Nonsense? Am I talking nonsense? Don't think I'm a fool. I'm a genius. If I get serious, I will never lose to anyone. Saya Takagi yelled uncontrollably. That's enough, that's enough. Lin Tianyao stepped forward and patted her shoulder gently. Although Takagi Saya usually behaves very calmly, her heart is still very fragile. After experiencing such a terrifying thing, plus, she saw the care and attention shown by everyone for Sayako, who won last year's national kendo competition. It's already so dirty. I have to ask my mother to go dry cleaning. Seeing herself covered in blood and stains in the mirror, Takagi Saya said tremblingly, tears filling the corners of her eyes. Then, she could no longer unable to control himself. He threw himself into Lin Tianyao's arms and burst into tears. Everyone silently looked at Saya, who was crying in Lin Tianyao's arms. Hirano Toda lowered his head in disappointment. Seiko's eyes flashed with envy, and the other three acted indifferently. After a while, Shay finally controlled his emotions. He raised his head and looked at Lin Tianyao's handsome face, with 2 blushes rising on his cheeks. Thank you, senior. It doesn't matter. I won't suffer anyway. Lin Tianyao pointed out. Huh? Sha Yi was stunned when he heard this, and followed Lin Tianyao's gaze. Geo Chengshe screamed and quickly broke away from Lin Tianyao's arms. What happened? Everyone was startled, thinking that the dead body was coming. No, it's okay. I just feel a little cramped in my legs. Shay hurriedly covered it up, and after speaking, he glanced at Lin Tianyao with a smirk on his face. Really? Bosushima Sayako glanced at the two of them suspiciously and then said, In front is the staff room. Let's take a good rest there. Naturally, no one would object, and the group walked towards the staff room. Entering the room, Komuro Takayu locked the door, and everyone used tables, chairs, and benches to close the door, and then they breathed a sigh of relief. What should we do next? Miyamoto Rei asked. I think I can't stay in school. Komuro Takashi expressed his opinion. Have you found teacher Juchuan's car keys? Lin Tianyao raised his head and asked. Eh? I found it in my bag. Marikawa Shizuka happily took out her car keys and showed off like a child. Bosujima Sayeko crossed her arms and poured cold water on her without hesitation. Can your car fit all of us? It seems. Marikawa Shizuka suddenly remembered that her car seemed too small, and a drop of cold sweat ran down her forehead. Bosujima Sayeko, who had already considered this, did not show any unexpected expression and acted very calmly. How about the bus used by the activity department for traveling? The key should be hanging on the wall. The bus is right below. Confirmed Takahata, the most towards the window of the Chubby Plains household. Where should we go after we leave the campus? Marikawa Shizuka asked. Everyone fell into silence. At this time, Saya, who put on rimmed glasses, suggested, we better watch the TV reports first and then think about it. Turning on the TV, there was still a signal at this time. However, the scene on the TV shocked everyone. Rie Miyamoto even subconsciously put her hands on her chest in a worried posture, looking at the TV in disbelief. On the TV, a female host holding a microphone was explaining what was happening outside. Behind her were police officers and medical staff, and injured people were being carried into ambulances by medical staff. Watching everything broadcast on the TV, Komuro Takashi clenched his fists and roared angrily. Riot? What kind of riot is this? At this time, the sound of shooting came from the TV. The female host was slightly startled and then said even more excitedly, shoot, finally fired. What happened to make shoot? The camera also switched to the side. I saw two patients climbing up from the stretcher, staggering on a police officer, opening their ferocious mouths and biting him. As the host screamed in horror, the TV screen suddenly turned gray. Every channel was broadcasting the same news, reporting on unrest around the world. On several occasions, reporters and cameramen in charge of location were bitten to death by corpses in front of countless viewers. Only then did everyone finally understand. At this time, not only was a crisis breaking out in this school and the host city, but the whole world was also shrouded in this crisis. The leader of the United States has abandoned the White House. Communications in Russia have been completely interrupted. Beijing is a sea of fire. In a simple word, mankind is finished. Suddenly, Lin Tianyao was shocked when he saw a picture on TV. It was a well-equipped armed team fighting against dead bodies. Of course, there was nothing special about this. The key lies in the logo on the shoulders of the players, which is a red and white pattern composed of 8 triangles. Anyone who has watched Resident Evil knows that it is the unique logo of the infamous Umbrella Corporation. In other words, this world may be more complicated than Lin Tianyao imagined. An enhanced version of School Apocalypse? It's a bit interesting. Lin Tianyao smiled. He did not question Exioxian because he knew very well that Exioxian would never harm him. At the same time, he also understood why there were so many function point rewards for such a simple task. As the monsters become stronger, the rewards naturally become more generous.